They've continued to work and grow and implement their program and are setting the foundation for what they want to get accomplished here over the next couple of seasons.
I think one of the most intriguing teams this offseason is the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins have the capital to do whatever they want.
They're competing and building a culture.
I believe in team. I would say that. If you want to strive to do something great as a group, you got to work together.
You have a plan, you stay true to the plan, you execute the plan. The Dolphins, this is how you turn around a franchise, like this.
We're trying to build a team that's going to win right now, and we'll be very aggressive.
Welcome to the field, your Miami Dolphins.
We're looking for guys who are tough, who are smart, who are competitive, love to play.
They have landed some big fish. Love what the Miami Dolphins did. You're trying to build something there.
Patrick throws to the end zone. It is Parker. Darnold never saw the pressure coming, and he is leading. Sticky wide open. Touchdown.
Let's have some fun and play together, man. Win on 3, win on me. 1, 2, 3, win.
If you can get a group of young men to band together, to believe in one another, to practice and prepare at a high level, then you'll win ball games.
Big man, touchdown, picked off by Bobby McCain.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and I'm back here for another one, riding a little solo dolo for now at least. Your boy EM is dealing with one of those famous Texas power outages. So, and his 5G ain't complying when he's trying to come backstage. So, for now, your boy is riding solo, but I think this is going to become a thing, man. I think we'll be going live pretty much every day. Moving forward when it comes to training camp, because not only do we want to educate and give the info, but clearly we got to counteract some of the misinformation and some of the straight up ignorance that's out on the YouTube platforms, the Twitter platforms, all over social media today. You got people out here literally trying to spread panic about a rookie quarterback who's in his second day ever of NFL padded practices under circumstances no veteran in this league, whether 1 year or 20 years, is used to right now. And he's also up against a 15-year veteran and a 3-year veteran. And we can all say what we want about Josh Rosen. The problem is Josh Rosen's never proven he's uncomfortable at practice. If y'all remember last year, he looked so good in practice and in preseason when he was facing second and third string scrubs. If I remember correctly, wasn't the media calling for Josh Rosen to start? And how did that work out when live game action happened and the looks pre-snap change post-snap? Didn't look as good. So I've been saying this since it started yesterday, going through a little bit of deja vu, for me at least, with this. And it's absolutely ridiculous that people trying to, it just shows you who knows the nuances of the game and who doesn't. It tells you the people who have been at practices that mean something in life and people who haven't been anything more than high school football practices in their life. I mean, that really puts it into perspective for you. I mean, I hate to point fingers, but if people are going to be out here listening to someone who is also clamoring for a rookie quarterback to throw 40 touchdowns in 16 starts when the rookie record is 26, that tells you all you need to know about the source of that kind of information. And I really wouldn't be taking it to heart. Someone who doesn't even know the nuances of the position itself, let alone the game. Don't listen to those people, man. I'm going to tell you right now, whether they're on Twitter, whether they're on YouTube, don't listen to them. And I'm going to go over some stuff because it seems everyone's sticking to a couple fumbles today between Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Dieter. And here's my issue with that. You got a guy who's cross-training at center, and those are the two fumbles you're holding on to? Are you serious with me right now? Let me know when Tua Tagovailoa starts consistently fumbling snaps from Ted Karras. Just let me know. Let me know when he starts fumbling snaps from a guy who's done it at a pro level. Just let me know. Until I see that or hear that, I don't want to hear none of it. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous that people are out here. And you know what? It's funny, too, when people are out here a couple weeks ago claiming Tua is their favorite player, and yet they're getting all giddy, and it's so obvious they can't wait for the kid to fail in padded practice alone. Things just aren't adding up. Yeah, I mean, how is that your favorite player if it's clear you're relishing in the fact that he's a rookie in his second NFL padded practice ever, and he's not blowing away the competition? I mean, what did I tell everyone listening yesterday? Don't start worrying until it's the last week of camp before they're going to be facing real-time live action. You know, that's how you got it. It's so absolutely baffling that people are even taking this stuff to heart, and it goes on all platforms right now. And I'll be honest with you, the big wigs who matter in this community, they're clowning the people that are out here with these expectations on day two. The boy, the homie, the brother Josh Houts, Neil Driscoll from PFN, all these people are clowning these people on Twitter and YouTube that are pressing the panic button on day two. You know, the people who are actually, you know, get paid by organizations to do this. Some of the scouts out there who cover the Dolphins, who do this for a living, are absolutely clowning this situation. So, guys, I think we've educated you enough. I like to think that our subscriber base isn't as naive as some other ones that happen to be, and they're a little bit more educated than the average fan that sits on the couch, or the average person that sits in front of a mic and gives their subjective opinion. I would like to think we're a little bit more educated than that we're not pressing the panic button. But in case you are, I got something for you that might ease a little bit of what you're seeing. So I posted this today. Tua went 7 for 7 on 3 team drives he led. Last I checked, he was the only quarterback that led team drives. That was perfect today. He even hit EM's boy Mac Hollins on a, and I quote, beautiful crossing pass for 30 yards. And that was from the Miami Herald. He connected with the boy Kirk Merritt on a deep ball up the sidelines, one-on-ones for a touchdown. Joe Shad sees outstanding ball placement and touch on short and intermediate throws, end quote. And people are panicking off of 2 fumbles from a guy being cross-trained at center. My Lord, are you people grasping for straws that badly right now? Do you want to see the kid fail that badly that you're holding that in such a high regard and overlooking? And 7 for 7 on 3 team drives he led, the only quarterback to do it today. Hit Mac Hollins on a beautiful crossing pass for 30 yards. And as we remember yesterday, he hit Jakeem Grant on a go route on one-on-one drills for a touchdown as well. He connected with your boy Kirk Merritt, finally popped up in the news today, and it took Tua Tagovailoa to make Kirk Merritt pop up. People are talking about his obvious chemistry with Gary Jennings. He's also, obviously, it seems like he's creating some chemistry with Chester Rogers as well. Anyways, and then you got Joe Shad, one of the people I respect the most, one of the he's in my top 4, top 5 beat reporters that follow the Dolphins from a journalistic newspaper standpoint. And look at what he sees. Think of how many quarterbacks he's seen roll through there, rookie or not. And I quote, outstanding ball placement and touch on short and intermediate throws. But why aren't we talking about any of this? Why are we talking about 2 botched fumbles from Michael Dieter, who's being cross-trained at the position? It's absolutely mind-boggling. And the fact that everyone seems to forget how good Josh Rosen looked last year in training camp and how good he looked in preseason compared to how he looked when it was live action against an opponent that wanted to take him out of the league. How did he look? This is why I said yesterday, guys, I'm the first one. Y'all know this. I've been harping on Kalen Ballage. I've wanted Kalen Ballage out of Miami since the end of the season. Correct? Correct, right? Kalen Ballage had the worst day of any Miami Dolphin yesterday, other than maybe you can make the argument of Ken Webster. I literally gave you guys the information on Kalen Ballage, and what did I do? I kept it moving. I didn't harp on Kalen Ballage. I even said, after I told y'all, I'm not investing in it because it's day one, pads on. Who knows? He might even be good tomorrow. And guess what? Last I checked, Kalen Ballage really didn't show up on the good or the bad side of the ball today in any of the reports out of camp. That's a player I want out, and I did not harp on him having clearly the worst day yesterday because it's day one of pads on practice. See, that's the thing. You got these people either trying to stir up controversy or stir the pot because they're not, let's be honest, they're not experienced enough and they're not educated enough on this whole process. They're just people from the couch that are tweeting or talking into a mic. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that this is even being put up on day 2 of this kit. Unreal. And I said this on Twitter, and I'll say, for all of you that have this grandiose expectations for day 2 of training camp, let me tell y'all this. Y'all better be dating, and I've seen some of y'all and you're not, y'all better be dating models in real life. Because if you're setting these crazy, ridiculous standards for other people, you better be setting them for yourself. Especially if you're one of these little Christians out here. You know what I mean? I don't have to get into the whole casting stones thing, do I? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And I've seen some of y'all's significant others, and you dating the furthest thing from a model. So all I'm going to sit here and say is, if you're going to set those kind of ridiculous standards on a 22-year-old kid, I hope you're setting those own standards in your personal life. Practice what you preach is all I'm going to sit here and say. It's absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievable that this is even happening. It just literally shows you, the people who know the position and the people who know the process and the people who know the game. It really does. And it also shows you who has a short-term memory, because we can all flash back, like I said, to preseason last year. Seems like deja vu, doesn't it? Fitzpatrick shouldn't start. Rosen should start. Last I checked, we won 5 games last year, and we only won them because Fitzpatrick was playing, not the guy everyone was clamoring for in the preseason. And at the end of the day, if Rosen is for real, because for Rosen, we actually won't know till you see him in live action. Because this is literally last year part 2 all over again. That's why I was saying with the preseason games, if we were only going to have 1 or 2 preseason games, give Fitz a series at the beginning of each games and let Rosen and Tua get the majority of the snaps. Because let's actually see what's going on. And even still, let's see, even Tua. It's practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to go this Allen Iverson route over here. We're talking about practice like that? Holy. But even with preseason, you can't put too much stock in it because Tua could go out there and light up a third string. A bunch of guys were going to get cut. So I wouldn't even put a whole bunch of stock into that. And I'm leading the Tua bandwagon with EM. Same reason I didn't bury Kalen Ballage yesterday, and y'all have been hearing me for months saying I want that guy off the team. I don't think he brings any substance to the football field. And did I bury him when he was the worst player on the field yesterday? No, I did not. Why? Because it's the first day of padded practice. Y'all are investing in it like we're in week 12 in the middle of the playoff race. It's absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to Randy Constance, said, just showing some love, brother. I appreciate you, Randy. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 donation, homie. I really appreciate that. So, guys, I mean, this is where you're going to separate the people who know the game and who don't know the game. I don't know what else to tell you. Especially you're going to separate the – I'll tell you right now, and I'll say this with confidence. I look around this landscape, and I can say I know the quarterback position itself better than a lot of the other people out here creating content, hands down. And I'll tell you right now, don't start putting stock into things until the last week of camp. And if you want to put stock, and what did I say when we had ball game on here? Whether you're a Tua believer or a Rosen believer, what did I say? I said, don't even put stock into that QB2 until either Fitz's leash gets yanked, Fitz gets hurt, or Fitz goes on the COVID list, and we got to see who the next man up is. Because if Fitz plays decent, is fully healthy, and we're winning ball games, we might not even find out beyond what they write on a website on the depth chart who the actual QB2 is. Because there might not even be a chance. Yeah, let me put it this way. Rosen could be the QB2, but we get to week 14, week 15, week 16, and Fitzpatrick, and we're in a position where we're winning games by like 2 touchdowns in those games, and they're bringing in Tua for a couple series in the fourth quarter just because they want to see what they got in the rookie. And yet, in their mind, behind the scenes, if Tua went down, they could be saying to themselves, maybe we'll go to Rosen because he's more experienced and we like what we saw. That's why I said, don't put any stock into that QB2 position until Fitz gets yanked, Fitz gets hurt, or Fitz gets COVID, because we can all pretty much agree Fitz is starting day one, no matter what anyone tries to tell you right now. Okay? And if anyone wants to disagree with me on that, put your money where your mouth is. I will take any bet you want on Fitz starting day one, barring injury or COVID list. Like, for real. Okay? And it's absolutely unbelievable that I even have to address this. And here's another thing, guys. Okay? Now, yesterday, Josh Rosen hit Jakeem Grant for a total, not through the air, but a total 75-yard touchdown on a, basically, from what we understand, a go route. And from what we also understand, Tua also hit him in one-on-one drills, I believe it was, on a go route as well. And again, into context, guys, what happened yesterday? Jakeem Grant was eating the whole secondary alive with his speed. Okay? Everyone was benefiting from it. Tua and Rosen were benefiting from it. But Jakeem wasn't eating people up like that today. I mean, that's all I'm going to really sit here and say. So, me and EM were saying yesterday, I want to see, where's Kirk Merritt's name at? It took my boy, Tua Tagovailoa, to connect to my other boy, Kirk Merritt, for a touchdown on one-on-one drills, and boom, he made the news today. So, all these players are going to have ups and downs. Look at yesterday, you barely heard anything about Rayquan Davis, who, next to Tua, is arguably me and EM's favorite pick, and it has been, to the point we made other people fans of this kid. Okay, because we were the first ones talking about this kid. Let's call a spade a spade. And what happened today? Rayquan Davis, and I quote, annihilated Donnell Stanley, who I've also told all of you some of Donnell Stanley's worst tape, I've said this multiple times when I watched him, was against Alabama and was against Rayquan Davis. And what happened today in practice? Rayquan blew Donnell up, and I've mentioned that multiple times on stream. And, quote unquote, Rayquan Davis was throwing around offensive alignment today too. But that just goes to show you. He has a dominant day 2, but you barely heard anything about Rayquan in day 1. And do you see me sitting here caressing nuts and gobbling a shaft over one good day of practice, even when they're out here saying he's annihilating offensive linemen? I could open this up with a smile on my face saying, hey, Not only did we have Rayquan Davis as the third best fit scheme behind only Javon Kinlaw and Derek Brown, who were the first two defensive tackles off the board, and our boy was the third. We called that, didn't we? But I also called the exact pick he needed to be taken at the beginning of that day 2 draft live for all of y'all to witness. Go check the receipt. Okay, I called 56. I could have opened up, gloated, and talked about, oh my God, I called this guy at 56. Me and EM were the highest ever on him. What did we tell you? He threw around our offensive lineman today. He was annihilating UDFAs. But did you see me do that? No, it's day 2 of fully padded practice. Oh my God. It's absolutely mind-boggling that not only do some people listen to this nonsense, they believe it. Now you know why we started this channel, to educate the ones willing to be educated. As far as the foolish are concerned, y'all can go figure it out for yourself. So absolutely mind-boggling to me. I mean, unreal that this is even a conversation we're having on day 2 of pads on, where guess what, guys? In a normal season, the pads would have been on last week, at the beginning of last week. So we would have already been into week 2 of pads, and we'd be gearing up for preseason games. I mean, look at the injuries you're having. Jalen Hurd, that big Gerald McCoy injury. Like, you're seeing guys tear ACLs and rupture Achilles at a ridiculous rate. So what? All of a sudden, half the NFL became injury prone? No, it's because of circumstances. That's what kills me, people. All these people out here talking this nonsense, the one thing they always forget when telling you people stuff is the context of the situation. It's absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, everyone must have gotten Alzheimer's or whatever and is forgetting what happened last year. Everyone's forgetting how the media was clamoring for Josh Rosen. Ridiculous. Like, the amount of short-term memory loss that has suddenly fallen over a few in this Dolphins community, fans, creators, whatever, because there's not just one person. Trust me. I believe Neil Driscoll today, it was either Neil Driscoll or how it's referred to them as the dark corner of Dolphins Twitter, the dark corner of Dolphins social media. So it's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely, you know what? And I've said this before. What have I told all of you? I don't care if my quarterback is white, black, purple, blue, red, yellow, green. Don't care. I want better than average play at that position, because that's what we've been suffering for over 20 years. The best play we've got at that position is average at best. Maybe slightly above average if you want to be generous. Okay? Whoever's going to give me that elite play, I don't care who gives it to me, and I don't care where you give it to me from. You could learn to throw with your right foot. I don't care. Okay? You could be ambidextrous, be out here throwing with both hands. I don't care. Just give me elite play from that position. I'm tired of being jealous of other teams' quarterback play. I'm tired of being jealous of other teams having quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes that can turn it on in the fourth quarter when looking crappy for 3 and win a Super Bowl. And the whole thing with Josh Rosen evaluation has been Josh Rosen hasn't shown you he can be that guy. And no one can argue that. You got, what, are you going to use 2 padded practice against 16 games of NFL film? So as much as people want to, as much as I want to tell people to hold up on the panic button with Tua, hold up on the let's celebrate Josh Rosen here button too. Unbelievable. Appreciate you, Ice Cold. Shout out some of these people here. Jason Greaves. Shout out to you, homie. Much love, bro. Appreciate you. You know, I know you've been sticking up for this, and you know what I mean. Love you, homie. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Shout out to Aquavision. Thank you. Havoc One, Nico, Scotty Joe, Todd, Rhino Sith, Dolphin 82, Finstrong 1, Big Spike 94, Jazz 803, Tommy Brinkley, what's good? Winter Lantern. I see that Winter Lantern. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Al Reezy, shout out to you. We'll talk about Beagle, don't worry. I agree, Randy Constance. It's a little ridiculous. And the other thing no one's taken here too. Yeah, I was calling other teams draft picks Marino's GOAT. Man, it's because I love the draft, bro. I love the draft. I've always been a draft junkie. I always have challenged myself with that. King Mill, shout out to you. Here we go. Michael Pulisic, what up, homie? You've been around for a minute. Appreciate the support. I don't know if I shouted you up. I shout out to the homie Nico, one of the first dudes I've made friends with in this whole community. Shout out to you. Severy Day 7. I don't hate Rosen. When have I ever used the word? I don't know Rosen. How can I hate someone I don't know? Do you know how strong of a word hate is? There's one thing. See, here's the thing. And this is another thing. It's the same people that can't differentiate judging a player on an evaluation, and they mix it in with, oh, you don't like the player as a player. You must not like him as a person. Are you kidding me? I don't know Rosen. Rosen could be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't hate Josh. Hate is a very strong word. I do not hate Josh Rosen. Okay? I don't even hate the guy that constantly bites me. Okay? Hate is a very strong word. Hate consumes you. Josh Rosen doesn't consume me. He may consume some of my time on the channel because this is what I do, but I don't hate Josh Rosen. I've actually been on record saying trade Josh Rosen to the Jacksonville Jaguars to compete with Gardner Minshew, or trade him to Tampa Bay so he can learn under Tom Brady because he fits the Bruce Arians mold of a quarterback and he can be Brady's heir apparent. I've actually said that because I want to see the guy be successful. I just don't think he's going to get the chance to be successful here. Shout out to Fake Spike 94. FM, what's good, homie? Jay Orlin. I'm an expert. Well, I know I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I mean, I'm starting to build credentials, and I had the respect of my knowledge base of some pretty heavy hitters in the Dolphins community. So that's where I'll go with that. Doesn't make me an expert, but I can say I know more than some people out here for sure. Doesn't make me an expert. I guess that's produced by JC. Not entertaining the quarterback competition at all. Honestly, it's not even the competition. I know Fitzpatrick's going to start day one. The competition to me is that right guard, right tackle, the 5'6", and if they're going to carry a 7 receiver, that's a pretty good battle to me. You know, what else? The corner battle behind Byron Jones is interesting to me. I know Bobby McCain balled out a little bit today. He had a pick. And it was also his birthday, so he had that birthday energy out there. Shout out to Bobby McCain. Happy birthday. So, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That's, the quarterback competition isn't even at, and I played the position, so it's not even at the top of my list. Yeah, Joe B. It is. It is. Yeah, exactly, Rhino. Don't even hate his ex. There you go. Like, strong words. People, like, that's the thing. People can't Tommy, shout out to Tommy. Yeah, man. I mean, like, people can't differentiate, like, you know, objective from subjective all of a sudden because I don't like a player like Brett Favre. I wasn't a huge Brett Favre fan. A lot of people are massive Brett Favre fans because I didn't like how reckless he was with the football. But do I hate Brett Favre? No. I thought he was overrated. I don't hate Brett Favre. I don't know him. Like Ian says, I don't know him from a can of paint. How can I hate someone I don't know? Unless you're out here killing my dog or a family pet, what am I going to hate you for? Like, real talk. Agreed, Havoc. Oh, shout out to Havoc. Van Ginkel is definitely licking his chops right now. Agreed. That middle linebacker position and even, the edge out there, gonna get interesting. Gonna get very, very interesting. Yeah, Nico, I heard the same thing, man. A lot of people were high on Noah today. Noah had some pretty big pass breakups. Yeah, I agree, Ice Cold. It is unfortunate for Beagle because I think they had really big plans for him this year. I think we highlighted him and Van Ginkel as guys getting probably bigger roles. And I know he was, they talked about when he went down, how emotional he was because I think he knew, right? So, Brian Flores and a couple players came over too and talked with him. Rhino, my opinion on X and how Flo doesn't expect him to start day one. I mean, here you go. I've been saying, you know what I mean? That's why I haven't bought into the whole we got the best secondary thing that everyone's trying to push on me. Because I don't know how durable he is. And then even if he does start day one, I don't know what kind of form, what form of X are we going to get? You know what I mean? Are we going to get 2018 X? Are we going to get X last year where he got burned a few times? So depth, agree, Scotty Joe. Depth means more than ever this year under all these circumstances, right? If you guys go over to the Brawl Network, I had our first show tonight on the Gridiron Brawl. Shout out to the homies Sam and Pat doing big things over there. Guys, also, I want to plug before I get to Scotty's thing here. Tomorrow, follow me on Twitter, guys. I'll be sitting in on the Zoom sessions tomorrow. And I've already got the list of names that I'll be sitting in with. I won't be asking questions, but I'll be sitting in for Dolphins Brawl, and I'll be live tweeting what the players are saying before the Zooms actually do hit YouTube. And tomorrow, we got some pretty decent people going to be on. I think we got Noah Igbenogany is going to be on tomorrow. And also Isaiah Ford is going to be on, and also the homie Emmanuel Ogba. So follow me. They'll start around 12 o'clock, and I'll be live tweeting. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be sitting on the Zoom sessions of Isaiah Ford, Noah Igbenogany, and Emmanuel Ogba. So shout out to the Brawl Network. Big things, man. We're doing some big things over here, building that resume, guys. See, right there. There you go, guys. See it for yourselves. So yeah, man, you guys are gonna it's gonna be pretty good tomorrow. Should be pretty exciting. But back to this depth thing. That's going to be the difference this year is depth. Depth is going to be what separates basically the winners from the losers beyond three things it's going to be. It's going to be cores. You're going to want, who's going to win this year are going to be teams Dolphins, are going to be guys who brought back the majority of the core. Okay. Then which one can stay the healthiest? And then with this COVID thing, which one has the depth that steps up if any COVID or injuries hit? So, we're talking about it today. To me, the teams that stand out, if you look at the NFC, obviously your Seattle's, your San Francisco 49ers, you even got to go with Green Bay. You look over here, the Titans, other than Conklin, really. Can the Browns get things together? You got to look at the Steelers. They're bringing back the core, and Roethlisberger's coming back. So he's really obviously very acclimated with the offense. Deontay Johnson could take that leap. You know what I mean? And then you got obviously the Ravens and the Chiefs. So, I hate to say it, guys, the Bills too. So, yeah, and that's, again, Michael, that's true. No home field advantage, right? Just like when week one, when we start in Gillette Stadium, the New England Patriots announced today that they will not be having fans in attendance. So, yeah, guys, it should be pretty interesting, man. It should be pretty interesting. And And yeah, man, it's going to be a very, very, very interesting season. But let's get into some of the articles. I just want to go over some things with you guys. And actually, you know what we'll do? We'll start off with a couple of video clips. Fake Spike is continuing. I'm just going to be I actually opened up a couple Prestige blasters on Sunday by myself, and all I got were mem cards, and I was so bitter. So I'm going to be moving to hobby boxes. I'm just working on something with a local I'm just working with a local hobby shop, and I'm going to be just doing a few things. I'm going to probably be plugging them as well too. Reason is the current Miami Dolphins going to make the set 1972 team nervous? No, sir. Not anytime soon. Perfect season. I mean, I don't know if you're going to see that for a really long time, man. Okay, so let's get into things here. So you know what we'll do? We'll start off with a few videos. I'll give you your daily dose of Tua highlights. We'll start off with just him throwing at the nets. Give me a sec, guys. All right. Boom. Boom. All day, baby. 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 Okay. One more time. Ready? All day, baby. All right. Hold on. Actually, one more. All day, baby. Right? Didn't even touch the rim. All day, baby. Okay. It's your boy Tua practicing on the accuracy. We already knew where that was at, though, so that ain't anything new for anyone, right? Let's get into the next one here. Actually, we'll save that one. We'll keep the daily Tua highlights. We'll keep going. So we'll save that one. We will go into this one. What the Blamba clot? Bomba clot build. Okay, hold on. What is going on? 1, 2, 9. Yeah, that's what I clicked. Good boy, said. All right, there you go. Yeah, I'll hit the audio with you guys. Let me reshare that for you guys so at least you can hear something, even if it is the silence around the football. All right. Wasn't someone today saying his passes were inaccurate or something? And there is your daily dose of Tua, people. Number 1 on his jersey, number 1 in our hearts. High and tight, baby. Tuck it, tuck it. All right. Again, just showing it because y'all know this is the home of Tua Tagovailoa, the original home of Tua Tagovailoa. And then let's give you all that little daily recap that I like to do. Just give you guys an overview of some of the highlights from today. And remember, guys, they are not allowed to show any film or film, for that matter, any 11-on-11 drills. And that's the footage that actually means something. Out of all these throws we're seeing Tua, Fitz, and Josh Rosen make, it's the 11-on-11 drills, right? There's Balaj cutting it. Nice to see his name was not all over reports today. That was definitely a positive for that kid because he can't afford many days like what he had yesterday. That's for sure. Nice catch. Love the look of our team this year, though. I love where this team's going to be in about 2 or 3 years, man. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait till the draft, too, to see what we add to this bunch. What's your prediction on Devontae this year, guys? 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards, under 1,000? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to see what everyone's take on what their expectations for that man's production are this year. Agreed, Rhino. A little too, yeah. Yeah, Todd, I already covered this. And, I mean, I can bring it up. I'll bring it up again for everyone. Just for everyone who came in late, follow me on Twitter. I did post this today. And I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of how Tua looked today, and this is it. That screen off for you. So yeah, Tua did go 7 for 7 on 3 team drives he led. He was the only quarterback to go perfect. He hit Matt Collins on and I quote, a beautiful crossing pass for 30 yards. That's according to the Miami Herald. He also connected with Kirk Merritt on a deep ball and one-on-ones right up the sidelines for a touchdown. And Joe Shad, who I'm pretty sure anyone with credibility respects, sees outstanding ball placement and touch on short and intermediate throws. So it was a good day for Tua. He was a lot more active in passing the football today. But again, we don't have access to those 11 and 11 drills. And that's the footage that you want to, if you're going to gauge something, that's what you want to gauge from, right? Like you want to see, like we don't even know the context of Josh Rosen's 75-yard touchdown to Jakeem Grant. All we know is he blew past Ken Webster. You know, we don't know. Well, we were led to believe he made it past the whole secondary, but it would have been nice to actually see it, right? Ice cold. Oh, okay. We got some 1,200 yards from Jason. I like it. Damian, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 90 receptions. I love that. 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. Ball gets spread around the season, says Aquavision. Logan Hampton says 1,189 yards, brother. I love how specific you are. Not 1,190, 1,189, 9 touchdowns. I love it. I love 1,300 yards, 9 TDs. Ricketic, over 1,000 for Clemente. Todd, 1,100. Rhino, 1,250, 9 touchdowns for Parker. I like it. I like the belief you guys have, man. Finn Strong, 1,311 touchdowns. I like the belief. Finn's Weekly, 1,100 yards. And I also think Preston Williams will have close to 850, 900. Finn's Weekly, I actually do agree with you. Rhino says 1,189 and a half yard. Yeah, Todd. When I saw, and Matt Collins, if you know, I guess he was underthrown a little bit by Tua today. Tua did actually miss 2 out routes. But they weren't in the 11-11 team drills. So that's all we know. We don't know what drills they were in. Michael, do I play DFS? What's that, brother? Let me know, Michael. What do you mean by DFS? Jazza, 1,200 to 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. Havoc, 1,050, 8 touchdowns. Yeah, pretty reasonable. Michael Pulisic, I wonder how Matt Cole was looking. He was all over yesterday. He was returning punts yesterday. And he wasn't returning punts from what I remember today. I believe it'll be in one of the articles. I had the Palm Beach Post article up, but for some reason it wanted me to subscribe, so I'm not going to go over that one. Fantasy Football Daily. I don't know. I play Yahoo, and I'm on Sleeper Headquarters. And that's another thing. Guys, let me put this up for you right now, okay? Okay, here's the deal, okay? If you want in on fantasy this year for this channel, okay, I need you to email me. Phinside, I'm going to put it up right here for you guys. PhinsideTheNFL@gmail.com. Okay, and what I'll do here is I'm going to have a free league. All right, a free league. We can do whatever, 12, 15, 20 people, whatever. And then I'll have a paid league, $25 US entry. I'll figure out the buyout. It'll probably be more heavy. It'll be pretty split between the regular season and the playoff winner because it is harder to finish first in the regular season than it is to win the playoffs. So we'll figure that out. But I want at least 10 to 12 man, $25 league. And then I'll do a free league in terms of we'll fit in as many bodies as we can. So if you want to be in on this, okay, guys, because we are at August 18th, and I would want to draft probably the end of the first week of September. Phinside the NFL at gmail.com. Okay, email me. Just tell me, yes, I want in on fantasy. I want in the free league. I want in the $25 league, or I want in on both. Okay, so I already have a little bit of a list going. I wanted to put this out here, and I'll start reminding you guys. If you guys want to do it, and shout out to the homies Dudley Do Wrong, Great One Devore, Infinite Trauma, and a few others. They joined my personal $50 buy-in league. That'll be fun. But yeah, man, if you guys want in on fantasy, even if you've never played before, at least join the free league. It's a way, to not only learn to play fantasy football, but it'll keep you up to date on players that aren't on the Dolphins. So it'll keep you educated, et cetera, et cetera. And I run some pretty good fun leagues. This is men leagues over here, guys. This ain't for boys. We IDP, bro. We got defensive players on this side. So, we play this big boy league over here. This ain't girl league. This ain't little boy league. This is big boy time over here. So, Phinside the NFL at gmail.com. If you guys are down for fantasy, email me and I'll lock y'all in. All right, so let's keep it moving. It doesn't look like the homie EM is going to end up joining us because we're about 45 minutes in and I haven't even seen him come backstage. So let's keep it moving, and we will keep it moving with – let's go over some articles today. Obviously the big news is Vince Beagle, and we'll go over a few things here today. So we'll read it together. Some notes and highlights from day 2 of the Miami Dolphins padded practice. The quarterback play was underwhelming. And that's everyone, guys. During his first work in team drills on Tuesday, rookie Tua Tagovailoa threw 3 safe short passes for completion and botched the first of 2 poor exchanges with Michael Dieter. So, right, poor center exchanges, guys. That implies Dieter didn't do a very good job. Who is working a lot at center after starting 15 games at guard for the Dolphins last season. Tagovailoa was pulled after the second botched snap, though it's unclear if that was specifically the reason. Tagovailoa and Dieter then worked on center QB exchanges on the sidelines. Keep in mind that Tua played a lot out of the shotgun at Alabama. He also did play under center too. He was under center on the 2 botched snaps Tuesday. Dieter is being reacclimated to center after not playing much there in 3 years since his sophomore season at Wisconsin. Okay. During his second time in team drills, and this is what I talked about, Tua Tagovailoa threw poorly to receiver Mac Hollins on an out route and connected on a slant to Chester Rogers, who fumbled on a hit by cornerback Nate Brooks. Later, Tua Tagovailoa then had that second botched snap. But here's the good news. Tua Tagovailoa late in the day hit Hollins on a beautiful crossing pass for 30 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw an interception, had at least one other pass nearly intercepted, and was erratic with his accuracy. And that interception did come from Bobby McCain. On one play, Noah Igbenogany jumped a route on Fitzpatrick's pass, but couldn't hold on to the interception. Jakeem Grant was the intended receiver. Safety Bobby McCain intercepted a terrible pass by Fitzpatrick on the next play. They're really high on Noah from what we're seeing today. On the bright side, from Fitzpatrick, he connected with Isaiah Ford for multiple completions, including 1 leaping catch and double coverage. Yeah, Isaiah Ford has really been showing off these past 2 days. Ford came on strong. Gotta love ads. Ford came on strong last season, has a decent chance to stick with the 53. Had a nice TD against Bobby McCain, turnaround for the football and one-on-one drills. Linebacker Vince Beagle sustained what appeared to be a lower leg injury and was carted off. It ended up being, I believe, a torn Achilles, and that has been confirmed. Preston Williams, I mentioned yesterday that someone reported that he was limping at the end of practice, but I actually couldn't find where I saw that, and so I didn't bring it up. I couldn't find the article or whatever to bring it up yesterday. So it is telling that today he was not out on the field, though the team did just say they're being cautious with him take that however you want. I do remember seeing yesterday that he was limping. So Shaq Lawson left practice for a short time with an undisclosed issue. He walked inside the locker room and then he returned to work with a trainer, but then he returned to the field, so nothing major. And here you go. Malcolm Perry, Jakeem Grant, and Chester Rogers worked as punt returners. So a totally different look from yesterday because I believe two of the main returners were Matt Cole and Preston Williams, and obviously Preston didn't practice, and Matt Cole didn't get reps there. So it's safe to right here again. It's safe to say that Igbenogany is valued as a fill-in for Xavier Howard in one-on-one work. Igbenogany had a pass breakup against Parker in the end zone. The Auburn rookie had a better day 2 than day 1. Perfect example of why you don't put stocks, because stocks are going to rise and fall day by day because people are going to have good days and people are going to have bad days, and it's not in a game situation, so you can't get a proper evaluation. Though his play was uneven last season, Jamal Perry remains very much in Miami's thinking for the nickel job. If Igbenogany is needed on the boundary, that obviously could change if Perry struggles in camp. As you remember, Perry was highlighted yesterday. He had a decent day. In one-on-one receiver defensive back drills, Grant shook Perry for a catch. A double move by rookie receiver Kirk Merritt beat Breon Borders, the dude we picked up off waivers not too long ago. And Josh Rosen hit Ricardo Lewis for a touchdown, beating Nick Needham. Not enjoying sticking Nick Needham on the end of, Jakeem Grant yesterday and Ricardo Lewis today. Man, I got high hopes for him, but, it is one-on-one receiver defensive back drills, right? Left guard Eric Flowers and defensive tackle Christian Wilkins were very good in one-on-one blocking drills. Left tackle Julian Davenport was manhandled, and Flowers was excellent overall on Tuesday. And they say here they're not permitted to identify. Remember, guys, you're not allowed to identify first, second, or third strings, just like you're not allowed to film 11-on-11 drills. And he says, they basically say, just know that the Dolphins think a lot about the rookie linemen. And this is obviously, we already knew Austin Jackson, Robert Hunt, but yesterday we obviously found out how high they were on Solomon Kinley. So that must be continuing on today. And right there, Landon Roberts, Camus Gruger-Hill, and Raekwon McMillan are all competing to start alongside Kyle Vanoy and Jerome Baker. I don't know if they're indicating Jerome Baker is a starter there. Durham Smythe battling Adam Shaheen for the back-up tight end job, dropped a pass, and that's not good. He came last year. Durham Smythe, his MO was his blocking. He's a poor in pass blocking sets and run blocking sets last year. And you're adding no value. I really see Gesicki and Adam Shaheen being the two guys we move forward with in terms of tight end 1, tight end 2. Little nuggets from one-on-one pit drills. Wilkins put Kinley through the ringer. So there you go. Kinley had a bit of a rougher day today than he did yesterday, right? After all the praise that was being heaped on him, should we say he has no business starting now because Wilkins put him through the ringer? Ted Karras had a win on Devon Gottschalk. Flowers and Jesse Davis battled to a stalemate. Austin Jackson had a great rep on Beagle, putting him on the ground. That was not when Beagle was injured. Zach Seiler put Dion Calhoun on skates, and I think we've all been out on Shaq Calhoun for a while. Flowers made easy work of Brandon Bryant, not expected. Brandon Bryant was clearly a camp body. Davenport stopped Lawson straight up. That's scary when they highlighted Davenport got manhandled earlier. And then here you go. Rayquan Davis annihilated rookie center guard Donnell Stanley. That shouldn't be a surprise. I've highlighted to all of you many a times. Donnell Stanley had very good film, but his only really red flag bad film was against Rayquan Davis. I've highlighted that multiple times on this podcast. Flowers destroyed Christian Wilkins, who otherwise had a good session. Okay, so Flowers destroyed Wilkins, but Wilkins basically put Kinley through the ringer, so Kinley must be not any good by all the logic we're using in Tua, right? This is what I like to see, boys. Andrew Van Ginkel ripped around the corner to beat Austin Jackson. We wondered, it highlighted, Bradley and I, Julian Aquara, for those people that just want to stick to the AJ Epinesa. He still got beat by Julian Aquara. And he still got beat by Bradley and I, two ends that mainly use power games. And there you go, Andrew Van Ginkel using a little bit more of a speed game to beat Austin Jackson with his bend around that corner. And I like to see this. Ted Karras was really sturdy against bull rushes in the pit today, beating Zyler and Rayquan Davis. Rookie defensive end Tyshawn Render buried Julian Davenport, but Davenport stopped Lawson straight up. Oh, Lawson mustn't be no good, guys. Send him packing, right? Undrafted rookie. I love it. Undrafted rookie Benito Jones has good pad level, slides well under blocks, and forces the interior to open up. Something I've been telling you guys. The one thing that stood out for me from our initial evaluation, if you go back to the defensive tackle big board, we really struggled with him or Rayquan Williams at 5. And Benito Jones, the one thing I always talk about him is he has a nose for penetrating the pocket, which is very rare for a nose tackle because they're basically just there to fill up the gaps. And Benito Jones offers a pass rushing ability that you don't see from a lot of prototypical nose tackles, which he is. So it's great to see that converting on the field. I like to see Benito Jones living up to a little bit of his expectations. I hope that kid makes the team. I think he is probably the truest nose tackle we do have on the roster. Love the kid. Love what he offers. Love what he offers. And you know, Joe, here you go. Joe, you Finn fans need to understand that Tua is throwing to second and third string players most of the time. Well, yeah, exactly. While I believe even Fitzpatrick is throwing to the majority of his players. And agree. Joe, all you needed to do was tell people, you know, if they can't decipher that by seeing him, he's taking his snaps from Michael Dieter. You know, I've said it before, I can't help you people. You know what I mean? That should tell you right there who he's taking the snaps from. So, I do wanted to highlight a little bit before we go over a little bit on another article I wanted to highlight here. I do wanted to highlight just give me a second here, guys. Yeah, we'll go over this a little bit from the Sun Sentinel. I do wanted to highlight just something here because I really liked what Parker said, and you guys can find you guys can find this article for yourself over on si.com, all Dolphins. Shout out to the homie, the friend of the channel. I call him Alain because that's the proper pronunciation. Alan Papar, fantastic work he's doing over there. I just wanted to highlight something you guys can go over. I just wanted to go over this real quickly. You guys can go over to the article yourself and see everything. But if you watched Devontae Parker's Zoom today, the one thing he really highlighted was his ability to stay durable, just his ability to stay healthy. And, you know, I just really liked what I heard from him today. He's taking, you know, his body more seriously. You know, I just think this guy, I think that Pro Bowl snub after what he displayed, a little bit more of a fire underneath of him. And I really think this kid's got all pro potential in him. You know, I was never one of the people who was out on Devontae saying trade him. Never once have you ever heard me say we should have traded Devontae on whatever platform you've ever seen me on. You can go back however long you want to go back. I was never like that. I loved the pick coming out of Louisville. I loved his explosiveness. I understand his MO was that high point game. That's why I don't understand what people try to use the 50-50 balls. Guys, you know, here's my thing too. I think people are labeling, you know, back shoulder throws. You know, look at how he beat Gilmore. I mean, Gilmore was in coverage, but that was a back shoulder throw last year, right? Up along the right sideline. That wasn't a 50-50 ball. That was placed back shoulder where only Devontae Parker could make a play on it. So here's my thing. If a guy's MO is high point catching, why aren't you going to throw up 50-50 balls? That's his game. That's part of his game. That's the whole thing about his explosiveness. That was the one worry that people had about his ankle, right? About him losing that explosiveness to the game, because that's what made him special at Louisville, and like you saw, last year, that's what made him special as an NFL player too. So I never really got where everyone was going with the whole Devontae thing. And, let's put it also into perspective. He needed a guy who could throw up, because that is a bit of an art form, guys. Okay? That is a bit of an art form, throwing up 50-50 balls. It's not just chucking it up, okay? Like, you got to know where to place the ball where they can make a play on it. All right? And perfect examples are a lot of back shoulders last year from Fitz. So, I mean, let's be honest. Didn't see that kind of production when Tannehill was around. Didn't see that kind of production when Matt Moore came in. Consistently. So, you gotta wonder about the quarterback play a little bit to an extent there too. Shout out to the homie Devontae Parker, because you know what? I'll actually show you guys. Devontae Parker threw your boy a retweet yesterday. I didn't even know till I got off stream. And shout out to Devontae Parker for giving the boy the retweet yesterday. I appreciate you, homie. I went on Twitter. I'm like, why did this tweet blow up? And lo and behold, it was because the homie DVP11 gave your boy Reason a retweet. So shout out to Devontae, wide receiver 1, no doubt about it. Man, screw the Pro Bowl, Devontae. Go get an All-Pro. Shut these people up. That's all I got to say. I can already hear, you guys can probably hear it too. That clanking you guys are hearing in the background, that clanking, that's Stephon Gilmore's knees, knowing he's got to take on Devontae Parker week 1. All right? Because Devontae going to eat him up again. Devontae going to eat him alive. Right? And you know what? He didn't even just eat him up on, he was eating him on underneath routes. He was just comebacks. He was eating them last year. He was eating them on the short, intermediate, and deep level in that game. So I don't want to hear no nonsense about, just 50-50 balls against Gilmore. Nah, he ate him on every level. And if you watch his route running last year, he was using double moves on Gilmore to get himself open to create space. Go watch Devontae, because someone hollered at me yesterday. Like, oh, yeah, you got to put the clamps down. How are you gonna put? I'll show y'all right now. Actually, let's go right here. Let me educate a little bit of people here. I'm tired of hearing this 50-50 stuff, man. When he's out there beating arguably the best corner in the game since Darrelle Revis, and he's beating him with his feet. He's beating him with his route running ability, creating separation consistently at every level. I want to hear that nonsense, man. I really don't. I'll show y'all right now. EM, where you at, homie? I don't even know if you're in the comments, big boy. But you need to get on here. This is starting to become my show. Jeez. Shout out to all y'all for staying up late, too. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right, guys. So let's hit them with this. So this is what I said yesterday. We're going to go. So I just said, snubbed by the Pro Bowl last year, determined to show the world he's all-pro caliber receiver this year. Excited to watch Devontae Parker in 2020. P.S. You hear that chattering? That's the sound of Gilmore's knees quaking, knowing he's got this man in week 1, fins up all day, every day, obviously. And just so y'all know, your boy is not let me see. So your boy ain't jerking no chains out here. I'll show y'all the visual evidence because I'm the most transparent mofo in the game right now. That's no doubt. Where is he? Shout out to the homie Brett Legassi. He'll be on soon too. Devontae Parker, baby. Shout out to you. Unk. Shout out to Devontae Parker, man. But anyways, some dude comes in my mentions when I get off. This man actually says to me, and whatever drugs you're on, I don't want them. Gilmore is going to clamp his ass. Going to need a run game in week 1. Really? Are we? Are you sure about that? Because even if the run game ain't working, I'm about to show y'all why Devontae can still get it on and popping right now. And shout out to the homies over at Finn's District for providing this. We'll show y'all this. Got a little music to go along with it, people. Shout out to the homie. And this is my response to him. I said, let me know when Gilmore gets those clamps. Woo! Double move. What up? Look at that. Boom. Let me know when Gilmore can handle Devontae Parker. I'm waiting. Still waiting for someone to show me that. All right? He gets competent quarterback play, and this is what you get against the best corner. Look at that throw. Only where Devontae can make the play. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. Right there. The proof is in the pudding right there. Gilmore. Devontae pulled a John Cena with you last year. Can't see him, fam. You can't see him. I don't know what else to say. So anyone out here thinking the clamps are about to come down, I don't know what to tell you, but it ain't happening. So let's get into another article I wanted to go over. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where were the 50-50 balls? What, that back shoulder throw where only he could make the play on it? I mean, because he couldn't throw in stride because Gilmore was there in stride. So he threw it back so he could turn around, so he could make a play on it. Aren't most balls 50-50 balls? I mean, not really. It depends. It depends on the coverage, right? Like you saw a lot of those. He was beating, I mean, even on with the double move, right? Beat him with his route running, the double move, and he created the space for himself, you know? So, I mean, I guess if you want to get technical, you could either drop it or catch it. So that's 50-50. If you want to get technical, I guess everything's a 50-50 ball, isn't it? So let's keep it moving here. I see EM Dolphin in the comment section. Bro, you need to get that 5G working right, son. All right. So this is from the Sun Sentinel, and it just says, after easing into the first padded practice Monday with mostly handoffs, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was able to sling the football a little bit more. During 11-11s, Tua Tagovailoa was at least 7 of 7 in the passing game. But Tua Tagovailoa did account for 2 fumbled snaps that you could also blame on second-year offensive lineman Michael Dieter, who started predominantly at left guard last season and is working at center now. Either way, Tua was pulled after the second fumble. While Tagovailoa's stat line was accurate, his accuracy was slightly off on some throws to the outside, which I highlighted. 2 short routes that appeared wide but were able to be caught on the outside by Mac Hollins, including one pass that needed to be caught one-handed. Mac Hollins, return of the Mac. Tagovailoa was sharp and decisive when he made passes to receiver Ricardo Lewis, a dump off to running back Myles Gaskin, who I've heard that he's developing a little bit of chemistry with Myles Gaskin, a bullet down the middle to tight end Adam Sheehan, and a crossing route to Mac Hollins. Tagovailoa's action Tuesday was far different than his time on Monday, where he was limited to just 2 short passes and mostly handoffs to running back. So they're easing him in it. Like, they're easing him into the process, and everyone's like, look, panic. Oh my God, I hate to use the R word. I really do. But some of y'all got to get your IQ checked because y'all might be on the lower scale. I'm talking like Forrest Gump over here. Jeez. So, outside linebackers Van Ginkel and Beagle, before he was injured, were able to get around right tackle Jesse Davis. Defensive tackle Christian Wilkins was able to pressure rookie offensive lineman Robert Hunt. Center Ted Karras appeared to have a solid grip on defensive tackle Devon Godchaw. While Beagle was able to get past Davis, he was unable to get past rookie first-round left tackle Austin Jackson. New defensive end Emmanuel Ogbah got around reserve tackle Adam Pankey. Offensive lineman Shaq Calhoun, who started right guard last season, was able to keep up with defensive Zach Seiler in check. So you're seeing guys even guys who are having bad days are winning battles, right? Here you go. Shaq Lawson appeared to get past left tackle Julian Davenport. You saw the other report that said Davenport handled Shaq Lawson. So guys are winning and losing battles. Rookie defensive tackle Rayquan Davis dominated one-on-ones versus the offensive line. He was the most impressive performer. He won just about every rep but one, which was a tie. Receiver Devontae Parker caught a 35-yard pass from Ryan Fitzpatrick over the head of cornerback Ryan Jones. Oh, Byron's not worth the money, guys. Send him packing. He's no longer worth what we paid him. We overpaid. Get rid of him, guys. Devontae beat him. It's over. Safety Bobby McCain picked off a deep pass from Fitzpatrick for the first interception in camp. McCain also landed a wicked hit into Jakeem Grant's chest to break up another pass from Fitzpatrick on another sequence. Van Ginkel also appeared to recover a fumble by wide receiver Chester Rogers from a catch from Tua Tagovailoa, so the one you guys saw earlier that was talking about in the other article, and I love to see that about Van Ginkel because I keep going on and on. The one thing I noticed about when he came in last year, he was a playmaker. And when you can find playmakers at the linebacker position, usually, not all the time, but usually you got something there. More observations. Grant is consistently getting open, but he dropped the one deep pass Fitzpatrick threw his way. Oh, got to get rid of Grant. Grant's hands has always been a concern going back to his rookie season. If he gets the dropsies again, it might be hard for him to keep his elevated role. Fitzpatrick's favorite target early is Isaiah Ford. Obviously, they're continuing on that chemistry they were building last year. I really thought Isaiah Ford would get beat out, but it looks like he's going to be making this. He pulled down an 18-yard pass. Ford has consistently been praised for his grasp of NFL offenses, so high football IQ. One of quarterback Josh Rosen's better plays of the day may have been a screen pass. So we're going from a 75-yard pass where Jakeem Grant beats the defense. And let's point this out. Are you backstage yet? No, you are not. Guys, here's another thing I got to say about the 75-yard pass before we continue on here. The 75-yard pass from Rosen yesterday on a go route, streak, fly route, whatever you want to call it, okay? Streak, fly, go. Take your choice. Guys, that's not been his problem throwing that route. If you look at his drops last year, they came on go routes, basically. Streaks. Right? Preston and Jakeem dropped streaks, I'm pretty sure, last year. Both of them. It's one of the easiest throws. All you need on that is touch. That's it. It's when you start getting to tight windows, second, third progressions, exotic packages. Okay? So, anyways, we've gone from 75 yards to apparently his most impressive throw today was a screen pass. Anyways, one of quarterback, but got to get rid of Josh Rosen immediately because he's not throwing a 75-yard touchdown anymore. One of quarterback Josh Rosen's better plays of the day may have been a screen pass to running back Patrick Laird. Rosen saw something at the line of scrimmage, alerted his offensive lineman, and was able to deal with the defensive pressure to make the pass. That's good to see. He's identifying read and recognition. They worked on it. What have I told all of you about his pre-snap reads? It's nice to see they're working on it. Lawson left practice for a short time. We talked about that. And wide receiver Preston Williams did not practice on Tuesday. So there you go, guys. We basically have to cut half the team because they didn't perform like they did on day one, or we got to cut the other half because they didn't show up. Yeah, I'm pumped for this silly season too. Rhino, I can't wait to hear I expect fire. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be, bro. EMdolphinfan, that's the only pass Rosen can complete. I agree, Rhino. People are using practice to create narratives. That's how far the reach has become. Oh, I missed a few donations? Let me go back here. Let me see. My bad. I was talking. I wasn't even looking at the chat, people. Let me see if I can go back here. I don't have them up at the top here. Well, it's 4:50 a.m. Roadrunner. So you're British. No one's perfect, buddy. What? Can you let me know, Rhino? Can you send me those donations? Let me go over to YouTube and see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can bring it up because usually they sit at the top. I know I got the one donation earlier, but I don't want to miss out any donations at all. Like this man's in the comments section living his life. You need to get your behind on screen, brother. What are you doing, fam? Come on, son. All right, let's see if I can find out what these donations I missed are. Chat. Let's go to live chat here. I know that you said there's a $10 one. I got the $5 one. Even when I go to the live chat, I'm not seeing them. YouTube donos. Let me see. Oh, not British or Scottish. That's even better. Are you a ginger, Roadrunner? Do you have gingivitis? Let me know. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if I can figure out what the donations I missed here. Man, no bald. Not a boy, Roadrunner. At least I know you're confident in your own skin, so I can't hate on you, buddy. Who retracted that message? Oh, he took it. He deleted it. Don't want people to know your Costanza. Yeah, I can't see what the donations were. If you made the donation, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Because obviously I'm handling this by myself, so I was just ripping off there. I don't have the YouTube chat open. I just opened it now. I know Rhino said he made a donation, so I mean, shout out to you, Rhino, for the donation. I know we had a $5 donation earlier, and I know I shouted that. I know I shouted that individual out. So yeah, if you made will I be commentating on games, Ice Cold? No, I won't be commentating on games. What we'll be doing is because I'm going to basically be taking notes. I'm going to be watching the game from 1 to 4 or whatever. I'll be taking my notes, going through. Oh, shout out to Jazz 803 for the $10 donation. Appreciate you, homie. You've been a supporter for I don't know how long, but I always see you in the comments. Hit you with that. You know, you've been coming around. Hit you with that mod. Appreciate you, homie. And actually, I'm going to give the homie El Reezy because he always comes around too. I'll hit him with that. Sorry, Ice Cold. Basically, what I'm going to be doing, Ice Cold, is about a half hour after the game ends, me and EM will be going live for post game, and we'll give you about a half hour, 40-minute recap of our notes, what we saw, takeaways, etc. And then we'll be opening up to you guys to jump on, either vent about the loss, celebrate the win, give your thoughts, etc., etc. So it's going to be a post-game show for the people, by the people, basically. So that's going to be our plan. Half hour after the games end, you're going to want to hop onto YouTube, and we'll be going live, and we'll be giving you guys what we saw, takeaways from the game, etc., etc. And we'll be bringing you guys on to hear your thoughts, what you took away from the game. So it'll be a really, really good one. Roadrunner, just, you know what, Roadrunner? I'm happy at the fact that you woke up and the first thing you did was you went and you came and you watched my beautiful face. Love you, Roadrunner. Even if you are a Rosen, you're the only Rosen truther I actually like out there. So shout out to you, brother. So yeah, guys, if we want to do some questions or anything, we can run through those. It doesn't look like the homie EM is going to be. Doesn't look like he's going to be joining us. Roadrunner, I'm good that you're happy. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. And guys, remember to follow me on Twitter tomorrow, because guys, I will be live tweeting from the Zoom sessions that I'll be sitting on. Noah Igbenogany, Isaiah Ford, and Emmanuel Ogba. I'll be sitting in on the Zoom sessions tomorrow. I'll be live tweeting. So follow me at _real_reason. I'm also working on my next piece for Dolphins Brawl, and I love it. This is all playing into my hands. All I'm going to say is I started off, basically it's all about tempering expectations, and I started off with the win-loss record, and now it seems I got to delve into training camp. So that'll be a good piece. Look for that to come over the next week. I'm going to be diving into that over the next 2 days. Logan says, stop being lazy, EM. Guys, go subscribe to the Brawl Network. We got some really good things going on. We're about to, give you the low key. We're about to get a sponsorship deal with DraftKings. So we got some big things going on. The Brawl Network. They got me media access, media credentials basically for the Miami Dolphins this offseason, and I will have them next offseason as well, because I'll be covering the Dolphins training camp and some of the regular season games for not only this channel, but also for the Brawl Network live in person. So that'll be exciting. Big things are in the works, baby. So, any questions you guys want to take, you guys want to ask, fire away. I'll answer them as best as I can to my ability. And then we'll get out of here. And because we're probably going to be back tomorrow night as well. Hopefully EM can join me tomorrow night. Oh, he says, hang on, reason. Uh-oh. So Havoc says, explain how the position battles are a fluid process this early in training camp. That's a good question. So basically, to me, this is how it works out when you talk about position battles. They have guys, you've already seen, they have guys what they're going to put in a position that they want to succeed. Like, it's clearly obvious they want Robert Hunt to succeed. The problem is this year is not really a fluid process. Usually they got guys that, 1 or 2 guys at each position that they highlight where, okay, this guy's probably going to be the starter. This guy's going to be pushing for that starting job. And then depth guys that are going to be competing behind him. And obviously, in some cases, you get depth guys who outperform the second guy or even sometimes the first guy. So it just makes now that guy's going to be getting more reps. He's going to move off from facing the second team. Now they want to see what he can do against the first team, so on and so forth. The reps that really matter in this whole process are 11-on-11 drills, and you want to see what they got against the first string talent. I don't want to see what they got against jabronis and camp bodies, right? So, his router is booting up. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Here comes EM. Hurry up, EM. Any more questions here? What do you got? Thoughts on Mr. So I believe you're talking about Mayfield, Jalen Mayfield. Yeah, I'm really high on Jalen Mayfield. He's not my top tackle. I like Kawasami from Texas. I like Abraham Lucas. I like obviously Penei Sewell. Got a couple other guys I like, but Jalen Mayfield. He's going to be he's going to go in the first 2 rounds for sure. He's another guy that was sophomore. He's only got tape up to sophomore. You would have wanted to get some junior tape on him. That's for sure. That's for sure. Uh-oh. Oh, no. What's good, homie?
Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, finally, man. I don't know what's going on with my internet provider, bro. But they said, I don't know if you saw your phone, but I sent you a message earlier about 20 minutes ago that said that it was supposed to be back up by midnight. So here we are, man. What's going on? How you feeling, man?
Oh, bro, you know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling froggy, bro. I leapt all over the whole Tua stuff today, brother.
I hear you, man.
Apparently people were really digging me going in a little bit at the start. I don't know if you caught my whole soliloquy to open the show, but People were calling me B-Rabbit from 8 Mile in the comment section, bro. So it must have been effective, man. I just said, bro. Did you see it or no?
No, I did.
Well, I just said, it's ridiculous that these guys are going to hold him to, if you're going to hold a player to this high of a standard on day 2 of the second day ever of his padded practice, I basically said, you better hold the same standard to your own life, and y'all better be out here dating models. I ain't trying to see no 5, 6, or 7. And I know for a fact some of y'all aren't dating models, yet you got these kind of standards out here. So y'all need to check that at the door, really. That's where I'm at.
I when I first saw that tweet from Omar Kelly about, he didn't say Tua looked bad. He said he just doesn't look, impressive.
Yeah, but look at what Neil Driscoll from Pro Football Network said. He said he looks healthy and sharp.
Right.
Look what Gesicki said today. Gesicki in his Zoom. Gesicki. See, did anyone at all mention that Gesicki basically told all of y'all that Tua's grasped the playbook?
Exactly.
Go watch Gesicki's. He says Tua's grasped the playbook, and it's basically amazing to see for that young of a kid to grasp the playbook the way he has.
And you know what? You know what reason? I listened to Travis Wingfield, who I hold in high esteem. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of tweets about Tua from different individuals. But there was a common thread between all of them. They said the touch, the anticipation, and the accuracy is there.
Yeah.
Tua, the problem, in my opinion, and it's not a problem.
They're spoon feeding him.
It's exactly. It's what rookies go through. Every rookie every rookie transitioning to the NFL. Can you imagine being especially a player like Tua with all this hype and everybody calling him our savior and everything? Can you imagine the pressure this kid is under? You know what I mean? And the second day, this is the second padded practice, and they're already trying to tear this kid's game down already after 2 practices. And he hasn't looked bad. He just hasn't. I think he just hadn't got acclimated to the speed of the game yet. He hadn't played football. He hadn't put pads on since November. Okay. New organization, new playbook. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you, this is just normal this is a typical second day practice for a rookie. And the fact that, and again,
Can I ask you this? Isn't it clearly obvious to you that they slowly increased his workload today? And can I ask you this?
Exactly.
Can I ask you this? Can you not honestly say that on 3 team-led 11-11 drills, going 7 for 7 on your second ever padded practice?
That's pretty damn good. Pardon my language, but the ball doesn't touch the ground. That's pretty damn good. Pardon my language, everybody. I know it's a little late or whatever, but man, and I'm listening to these people, but I knew it was going to happen. though. I knew it. If Tua didn't come out and he's just blowing everyone out of the water from day one, people, I told you. And Rosen completes. He makes one go route. He completes one go route, and that's been since he's been in the NFL. That's the only throw that he consistently makes. You know what I mean? And he throws a touchdown pass to Jakeem Grant. And automatically all these Rosen supporters, I told you, Rosen is the guy. Rosen is better than Tua. He's outperforming Tua. Stop. Please stop. Stop it. It's practice number 2.
Well, now I pointed out earlier, Jakeem Grant was smoking everyone yesterday because Tua benefited from it as well.
Exactly.
And guess what? He had a good practice, but he wasn't the standout top performer like he was yesterday. And I ain't seen no 75-yard bomb for a touchdown in any article I read to Jakeem Grant today. I saw him highlight his screen pass because he looked like he improved on something me and you have been stressing as one of his deficiencies, his pre-snap process.
Yeah. Until Josh Rosen starts being consistent in the intermediate part of the field where the game of football is actually won. The game of football is not won on go routes, okay? In that part of the field. where quarterbacks make their money is the intermediate part of the football field. When Rosen starts to consistently make plays, please come let me know. Please bring the film with you, number one, because I don't want to hear your goddamn opinion. Bring some film first, and then
didn't
talk, man.
Did you know padded practice weighs more than film, bro?
I know, right? It's ridiculous.
No, but you know what? That I will be the first to say that is an encouraging sign to read that Rosen identified something he didn't like pre-snap and changed it up. Because that's one of the things, besides being a processor, that I've highlighted about this kid. And it looks like he worked on it. Good for him.
Wait till the bullets start to fly. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Wait until
Same with Fitz.
Exactly.
I mean,
but
he threw a pick today and he should have had a second pick. But are we all going to suddenly say he's got no business starting now?
But this is where I hate that we don't have a preseason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get live action before the season actually starts. But yeah, just pump the brakes. Pump the brake. Please pump the brakes.
I told everybody.
I tell you, it's exhausting, bro. I'm exhausted. All year long, we've been talking about this Tua Rosen dynamic. It's ridiculous, man. Come on. It's practice number two. But I meant to tell you this earlier while I was listening to Travis Wingfield, and who I hold him in the highest regard.
We both do.
He said that, again, it's 2 practices, but he said the player that looks like they're on another level, they just look different than everybody else, Emmanuel Ogbah. He said this kid has been unblockable. Listen to his podcast today. He said he just looks different than everybody else.
You're making me smile because what have I been saying?
Absolutely.
That hit double-digit sacks in this system, it's going to be him. What have I been saying, EM?
Absolutely.
Looks like he took a 2-year contract because he knows he's going to cash in under this staff if he stays healthy.
He said he highlighted, what did he highlight? His athleticism. He said he just looks different than everybody else.
Yeah. You know what the one name we haven't heard a lot about that's concerning is Curtis Weaver. And Jason Strobridge. We haven't seen him or like even Benito Jones made it to today, right? They were talking about his pad level and their, and how the stuff, the evaluation we gave of his game about how he always has a nose for penetrating the pocket. And it's something that seems to be translating over into practice. But the performer of the day today, my friend, who was it?
Rayquan Davis, baby. Rayquan Davis, man, I tell you, we all know how I feel about this kid. Next to Tua Tagovailoa, both of us, I think we're in alignment.
Our favorite pick.
Oh, that's our favorite pick, clearly. And to see this kid, just dominating. I think
He said he won all of his one. He won every one except one he tied.
Yep, that's true. So that's encouraging to hear, man. That is exciting to hear for rookie to come in. So
especially because I know you I highlighted how, for his size, to me at the collegiate level, he always played with great leverage. Mm-hmm. And I know that was your worry, is if that leverage is going to translate to the next level, because now you're dealing with obviously the best of the best. It's nice to see that in those one-on-ones, he's obviously winning the leverage battles, man. Right. That's good. Right. That's very promising to see, bro. But again, the thing is, the practice that means the most is the 11-on-11 drills, and we're not allowed to see anything, right?
Right.
So
yeah, they said this kid's power is evident. He's got, for a rookie, he's got rare power. The way he's able to just, manipulate offensive linemen. We talked about his hand placement and his arm length, but they said his power is evident, and It said he's on another level. So hopefully that translates. I'm not going to I'm excited, but I have to check myself. I have to, I'm not going to get too excited.
Look at me. I didn't bury Kalen Ballage yesterday, and I want him gone. And look at today. He didn't even make the news, right? So we obviously had, here's my thing. In that case, if you have a bad day and then the next day you're not really talked about, you're doing something right. You're obviously looking better than the night before.
Right.
And that's why did you see me go on a tangent about Kalen Ballage, a player who all of you everyone knows I want gone? No, you did not. You didn't go on a tangent about Kalen Ballage because it was game one of padded practice. I'm not going to bury the guy. This is what I tell people. Listen, don't start putting stock into things until the last week of practice.
Exactly.
Even until then, because there's no preseason, you can't put stock into the QB2 battle because, like I said, for all we know, they could be saying, hey, we like what we saw from Rosen. If Fitz goes down, we'll put Rosen in. Then Fitz ends up playing well, and you get to the end of the season where we're up by a couple touchdowns, and they bring in Tua in just because they want to see what they have in the rookie. You don't all these circumstances. Like the quarterback battle too. Other than what they tell you on the website, you won't know what their full intentions are until the leash gets pulled on Fitz, he gets hurt, or he goes on the COVID list.
Mm-hmm. We just listen, there's a lot of encouraging news coming out on day 2. We just as fans, I know we're football starved right now for the most part. And, to hear any news is positive. So to hear these encouraging news for these, especially for our rookies, it's very good to hear, but we just need to pump our brakes. It's day two. Just hang on. Just let it play out. Let it play out. Week 2, week 3, we'll see, we'll get a better, that's when we can get a better, assessment of where, each individual players in our team overall is. So, but again, it's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. So, but yeah, I knew that was going to happen though. Before training camp even started, I knew it. If Tua doesn't come in and set the world on fire from day one, here they come. But he's supposed to be our savior. He's supposed to save the world. He's supposed to save the Dolphins. Stop. He's a rookie. Peyton Manning, and again, Tua didn't even struggle. He just hadn't wowed anybody, like he did.
But has he been given the opportunity? Has he been given the opportunity to even wow?
Exactly. And what do I be consistent about Tua? Tua needs to earn it. I don't want anything given to any player. No. I'm sorry. No. You earn everything in this world. You earn, and nothing should be given to anybody. So Tua, we all know how I love this kid, but he needs to earn everything he gets, because that's going to make him a better player and a better individual at the end of the day. So, no, let him even if he's coming in and he's having problems. No, let him learn. Let him lick his wounds. Let him take his bumps. Let him take his bruises. Let him lick his wounds and let him earn. Put his head down and get to work and earn everything that he gets. So I love the approach that the staff is taking. No. Just because you just because you're the 5th pick in the draft, no, nothing is given to any man. Mm-hmm. So I love this kid. We know I love his skill set and love him, the player off the field. But no, at the end of the day, bro, and I would even say that about if I had a son, I'd take the exact same approach. So no. So
shout out to Fake Spike 94 with the $5 PayPal donation. He says,
shout out to you, homie.
This is 20 minutes ago when you weren't on. He said, bus fare to get EM back on the show. LOL.
Yeah. I don't know who this was talking about. EM needs to stop being lazy. Lazy, really? If you knew my life, oh my God, lazy? Yeah, no, homie.
Yeah, they're just joshing you.
I know. I'm kidding.
But, guys, I'm going to drop the link if anyone wants to join.
Yeah, y'all come on, man. I'm sorry. I apologize for my me being late again, but tonight, I definitely couldn't avoid it tonight. So
what's good, Havoc?
What's good, fellas? How's it going?
What's good, homie?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Likewise. Man. Hey, no. Let me offer a little bit of analysis on that play, because he had a good day. Day.
Go ahead, homie. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
They said that they hit him. Tua hit him mid stride, right? But you didn't see his Apple Watch alert went off It was 15 minutes until his shift. So he caught the ball, ran straight out of training camp. He went right up Pine Boulevard, took a right, went all the way to Plantation to the Commons, went into the Wingstop, got his uniform, was on time, on point.
Wow.
And he got my order right because he already knows. It's half garlic Parmesan, half mango habanero.
Oh my God. Hey, but look, I'm telling you, all joking aside, for real. Matt Collins is making plays. Just saying. He's making plays.
Well, in all fairness, Tua is clearly working with the third stringers if Michael Dieter's the one snapping him the football.
That is a fact.
This is true. That is true. That is
like
true.
I said, all these people holding stock in those fumbles, let me know when he's botching fumbles from Ted Karras.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically a padded walkthrough at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they're just going through the P's and Q's, trying to install their offensive, defensive game plans, get acclimated, get the fundamentals down. So, I'd be surprised if someone was out here getting burned on the daily. Like, I'd be surprised in week 1 if people are out here just looking like garbage. I mean, I don't think we're going to see that from anyone on our roster week 1. It's I think it's as we get towards a week and a half to a week out of training camp being over that we can actually start, piecing it together. But week 1, particularly day 2, man, ain't no one supposed to look bad on day 2. Nobody. Like, if you are a football player, no one should look bad on day 2, because this is all just walkthroughs at this point.
Well, yeah, that's legitimate. That's legit.
Yeah. So
But I know Needham.
Yeah, I don't like Needham's name showing up.
I don't know, bro. Needham, he done got burnt twice, bro. Back to back days. Yeah. I gave him a pass. I gave him a pass from Jakeem Grant, but he got burnt again today. No, but listen. It's day number 2. I'm riding, Nick. Hey, if you listening, you may or may not be listening, but I'm riding with you, homie. I'm pulling for you, but he got beaten twice, back-to-back days. So,
and the thing is, you might, in those first couple of days with pads on, you still are dealing with a little bit of rust. Right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Nobody has had any kind of, no OTAs. They just started training camp. They just putting the pads on, just getting acclimated, just the football period.
Noah though. Noah Benog, he seems to be strong.
One thing that Travis said, what's evident about this kid is his athleticism. That's what jumps out from day 1. I mean, when you watch him.
He had a pass breakup on Devontae in the end zone today too, right?
Yeah.
So as long as I see that head turning a little early and a little less hands, you got something special with that kid, bro. Athletic.
You know what I am concerned about, what Brian Flores said about Xavier Howard, though.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not panicking, but he said that, he didn't say that he wouldn't start. He wouldn't be ready to go for it. Bogdan, what's good, man?
What up?
He didn't say that he wouldn't be ready to go week 1, but he said we're preparing as if he is not going to be able to go week 1. So, wonder what's going on there, man.
I think I think right now in day 2, with this being the second day of practice, it's okay for them to look crappy, right? We don't necessarily know that everybody actually did what they're supposed to do in the off season. The limited access to gyms and things of that nature. Most of these guys were working out at home, and then Jakeem Grant, he had videos and things of that nature showing, but that ain't everybody, and it's different for cornerbacks, man. I don't like, because for all of my days of coaching, I hated one-on-ones because we always thrashed the offense and in team drills because everybody's together at that point, and the receiver doesn't. And one-on-ones, the receiver and the quarterback stand there and tell each other what they're going to do. Cornerback got to guess the routes, and you know what I'm saying. 2 people know where the ball is going, and the other guy got to guess it. That type of thing for me, I don't put no merit in it because at the end of the day, it's just guys out there running on air. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put any merit into that. So if Needham got burnt, Needham can get burnt every day in practice for all I care one-on-ones. As long as he ain't getting burnt when they got all 11 on the field against each other, that means he's doing his job. He locked up his position, and that receiver was null and void. And I believe he's going to do that with no issue. Like when people, when they were talking about that in the report, say he got, man, I don't care about that. I hated one-on-ones. I mean, legitimately, as the defense coordinator, I had to actually put it in because it was work for the offense in terms of the wide receivers get to call out guys to build their confidence and things of that nature. But I told my guys, like, we don't care about one-on-ones because they can't move the ball on us when it matters. So
would you say, ball game, that one-on-ones are designed to give the offense some confidence?
Yes, they are. That's the number one thing. Number two, what defensive players are supposed to be working on more than anything is getting footwork down and being able to get in and out of their breaks with limited hand involvement. But they get the basics of being able to use their body, you know what I'm saying, against the receiver and things of that nature. Because if you do, obviously you can't tackle them. So what's the advantage? Because the defender never really gets to complete the whole process. So the guy does make a catch. You know what I'm saying? Then people are talking about, he got caught on, but like I can't tackle it, dude. I can't jump over the top of him and pull him down for injury of this situation. So the defensive player is always at a disadvantage.
Yeah, they even highlighted yesterday that it seemed Byron Jones gave up on a Devontae pass because it was on a one-on-one drill, and he knew I can't tackle the guy, and it's not a game situation. So he just basically showed that he couldn't contest it, and then just gave Devontae the catch.
Yeah,
that was pointed out yesterday. So
again, stay tuned.
Yeah,
and like I said, ball game. I don't know if you heard me. The film that matters to me from the practice, if any film is going to matter at all, it's the 11 on 11, and we're not allowed to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Even the one-on-ones, listen, even the one-on-ones against when they're doing the D-line against O-line, those matter. But what that really just showing you is that Rayquan Davis is he's just a dog.
Yeah.
He's a strong individual, and he's overpowering and manhandling guys that we expected him to do that anyway, because he did it in college all this time there, and he's just a superhuman. You know what I mean? The dude is strong. We know that. So
Right.
And they got him listed at 330 too.
Damn, really?
Yeah. They got him listed at 330.
Wow.
When if they got him listed at 330 and he can maintain the level of athleticism that he already displayed in college,
Chris Jones, baby.
Woo.
Wow,
be a problem, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he destroyed the rookie center. They said right. Yeah. Then he destroyed everybody that's faced him.
Yeah, everybody.
This kid is just strong.
You know what? They said the only one that matched him, I think, was Eric Flowers.
But then you got to think about the contest.
And it was tied. No one won.
Right, exactly.
And no one won. It was tied, but he won every other battle.
Right. So Flowers, but think about how big of a mountain of a man Flowers is.
Yeah. That's
and
what.
If you look at Davenport is not even remotely built like. Nobody on the whole line is built like Flowers.
No.
So you expect those other guys to struggle with a guy like Davis because Davis is a mountain of a man.
Yeah. And I think Eric Flowers is the best athlete on our O-line as well. People are sleeping on how good of an athlete this kid is when he tested at the combine when he came out, which is why he was picked number 7 overall that year. People think he's just a big fat dude. No, this dude is a heck of an athlete.
He just unfortunately he got sent to a place where they didn't realize what his true natural position should have been. They had him out of position. You know, he's not the guy to be out there on that left. You know what I mean? He put him inside and let him handle that because his strength and his athleticism at that point, because he can move. You know what I mean? He is good at moving and pulling and things of that nature, and he can help at the base block and then slide. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. Yeah. But out there on the edge, man, you know what I'm saying? Them two tackle spots, man, that's a different monster, bro. Like, you think a special type of individual or a guy that's really smart about setting up the defensive player to play at tackles. You know what I mean? And people don't put a lot of people think that it's an easy transition for people to play because a guy is just good at good offensive lineman, but everybody can't play tackle, man. Like that's hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, there's no mercy.
That kick by itself is completely unorthodox and it's not natural. Especially if you're a right-handed person, right? Because you're right-handed, you're right side dominant. But now you're asking your entire left side to be the first thing that moves when the ball is snapped. And that's awkward. When you look at a real good left tackle, they actually look like they're having convulsions. You know what I'm saying? It's so prominent in that first step, that first kick step for them, and make you look like they're having seizures.
And I do think I don't know. I got to look up who the offensive line coach was, but I also think he fell under bad coaching because even Nate Solder went there and bombed out.
Yeah,
that was the guy who was proven.
Yeah.
That was the guy
he was already
playing
left tackle too.
That is true. That is true.
I don't say we. I say because I never heard you guys say this, but I think a lot of people, man, think that when a person comes into the NFL, that they are this ready-made package to go and succeed. The teaching and the coaching aspect of what they need to succeed at that level is still just as prominent. The only thing right now at that point is that you asking a kid to really tap in to what he's been previously taught, and you're supposed to take that. Those coaches are supposed to take that and add the finishing touches onto it. If you got a guy that's claiming he's a coach, but he can't take the nuances of a kid's technique and weed that out, you ruin him. And that's what happened with Flowers. That's what happens with so many of these players because the coaches around them, the kids actually know more than the coaches. And so by the time they're 2, 3 years, 4 years into their career, they've learned bad habits or they just relied on trying to do things that came natural to them. And nobody around them to tweak it to fix it for them. And then they come into now you see Flowers come into a situation now where he's got an offensive line coach that's probably in his ear on him, telling him, hey, try this, tweak this a bit, make your base set like this. You know what I mean? Those little bitty things, man, measure out huge in terms of a guy just being able to go out there and just play free. But coaching is at this level, man, it ain't even the coaching aspect is so huge at the NFL, bro. It's unreal. People don't even realize.
That's why I tell people all the time, no matter what position it is, quarterback, lineman, defensive players, that's why coaches value, when you're talking about in terms of the draft, that's why they value physical traits more than anything else.
Yeah, because you can teach the other stuff.
Because their games are going to be scaled down and rebuilt according to whatever vision that coach has for that particular player. So
you can't teach 5-3-30.
You can't teach that. You can't.
Nope.
So
what's up, What's up, Havoc?
How's it going?
What's going on, Todd?
Reason, I want to say thank you for the wrench.
Absolutely. No, thank you, homie.
Hey, let me tell you something. What's the scariest thing? What's the thing?
Hang on real quick. Are you in my backyard right now?
All right.
No, I'm actually out in my van right now at home because my phone doesn't work inside. Remember the first Zoom meeting with Davis when he got drafted? What was the one thing that stood out? He said, I want to be Rayquan, yeah. He said, I want to be defensive rookie of the year.
It could be in the cards for him.
He is coming in motivated.
Yeah.
He's doing what he knows. He's doing what he knows to do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what he does.
His job is to wreak havoc.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, ball game, because you made an interesting point about Flowers. Now, were the Giants so attached to the fact that he was the 7th overall pick and he was picked at left tackle that they didn't recognize that perhaps his skill set was not best utilized there? So they were so attached to what they wanted him to be, they couldn't actually see what he actually was.
That's exactly what happened to him. Because
that's the arrogance of coaches.
He hit it right on the head. That's the arrogance. Because any good, just because you draft a guy, draft a guy at number 7, right, as a left tackle, doesn't mean in the NFL that he's going to translate. From college, that he's going to translate over to that in the NFL. It takes someone willing to go into those meetings and say, listen, we have a really, really raw talent here, but I think it's best if we move him inside and let him work on these things because he's good at this. But if we put him out on this edge, because Flowers, he struggled out there, and nobody, and that was the problem. They almost ruined him and killed his career because no one was able to identify that just moving him inside, a slight move from one position to the next inside, was going to light a fire under him. Because then at that point, he could naturally be who he is. You know what I mean? And coach, some guys, I would like to say that they it's not coaching that they do. They do a lot of talking, but they don't have in their, you know, and even at that level, they don't have in their bag, their repertoire bag, the skills requisite to actually even coach most of these guys. They're friends of somebody that knew somebody, and the guy brought them along with them, and they say, "Oh, I need you to coach O-line." So what they do is they go out and they Google a whole bunch of stuff, and they take that into practice, and they just hope that fits the page. But that's not how you know what I'm saying? That's what made the beauty of the Indianapolis thing, where they went from no line to now one of the best lines. The coach, he was on when he was on. Right? He was the most dedicated guy. I mean, he was always talking to his dudes. You'd always see him on the sideline in them coach game, talking to those guys and giving them tips, and them guys going out there and executing things of that nature when they started putting money into drafting high-quality guys for that position. But coaching don't stop just because the game, you got to coach throughout the entire process, from the start of the game to the end of the game, and all through the week, looking at everything your guy did. All 5 of them up front, breaking it all down. A lot of guys don't spend that type of time, man. It's hard. Like even in high school, for me, I spent more time with breaking down film for helping the offense than I did with my own defense, because our defense was a dominant part of our team. But helping the guys understand where they were soft at or where they needed to shore up against each week's opponents, that's a special thing, man, because you did at that point. It's a tie-in also that you letting that player know, listen, I'm watching everything you're doing. I want you to be the best that you can possibly be. And I'm not going to be easy on you. I'm going to criticize you. I'm going to tell you exactly what I need you to do. If you can't get it done, I'm going to light a fire on your ass by putting somebody else in here. Excuse my language. But that's the element that's missing at NFL. But it ain't everywhere. You see some teams are successful year to year because they have coaches in place that actually do what they're fucking supposed to do, which is coach.
Like, you know who's a perfect example? And we can stick with where Eric Flowers got transition to left guard. You know, they had the moxie and they had the gall to make that switch because they knew would get. Look at this. Brandon Schreff, when he came out, he was, you know, first team All Big Ten as a tackle. He was an All-American as a tackle. He was the Remington Pace Offensive Player of the Year as a tackle. And what happened? You know, he was even by DraftScout.com, by Lance Zierlein of NFL.com, by Sports Illustrated. They ranked him as the best tackle in the draft. They took him at number 7 in the first round. They got him to camp. They put him in the battle for right tackle, and immediately they identified he's a better fit at right guard. And now he's been a 3-time Pro Bowler at right guard. And they did the same thing with Eric Flowers. They identified, hey, we can bring this guy in, kick him inside. And, you know, everyone can say what they want about the Washington football team, but how they built that defensive line and their foresight with how they have positioned players on the offensive line, you got to give them kudos to them, because, you know, a lot of teams probably would have fell in that Eric Flowers mold with Brandon Schreff and stuck him at right tackle, saw it didn't work, and kept riding it out for a couple of years, and then eventually taking a new coaching staff or another team to realize, yo, kick him inside. He's probably better there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're very fortunate that we have a bona fide talent evaluator as a head coach. Someone that just sees football players as football players and says, you know what, this is who you are, this is your skill set, this is your strengths, this is your weaknesses. I'm going to put you in a position to succeed, as opposed to, well, we invested this into you, so we're going to have to put you here. You really have to. Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
And you're seeing that havoc with how they quickly, you know, they're trying to transition Michael Dieter to center, identifying his skill set. You know what I mean? And his skill set, you know, whether you like it or, you know, I don't know how
He'd be perfect inside, man.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Michael Dieter, but he's a talented player. But his skill set just, as we're sitting here evaluating him tonight, his skill set translates better to center. And look at how they identified that. Again, a lot of coaches are so arrogant. They just get caught up in their draft status. Well, I drafted you a first round, second round, third round pick to be a tackle or guard, and they just stay there and try to try to lead that kid there and hoping that he'll be able to get up to speed and translate to that position. But you see how Flores was like, no, we can get value. Just move him to a different position. We can start getting a return on our investment. Mm-hmm. So kudos to him, man. Kudos.
That's why I'm interested in seeing what they do with Robert Hunt.
Yeah. I'm interested.
I see him long term down the line as a guard, though.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is this: if Solomon Kinley, and again, I listened to Travis Wingfield again today, and he highlighted Solomon Kinley again, just steady is what. That's a direct quote, just consistent. And that's what coaches look for, is consistency. The question is, if Robert Hunt doesn't beat out Jesse Davis for that right tackle position, and Solomon Kinley remains, he proves that he can function at right guard. I don't know, man. That's going to be an interesting dynamic there.
What it does though is it creates exactly what we've always needed, bro. Competition.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. It never helped. It never hurts to have guys that can play multiple positions on the O-line.
I agree.
That is Jesse Davis's claim to fame, is he can play almost every position on the O-line. I don't know about center, but
Havoc, he's been taking snaps at center, so he's trying to make it.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, Davis,
Swiss Army knife for the O-line.
Davis.
Arguably, right now, for me, and some people might disagree, but I believe without a shadow of a doubt, Davis is by far our most valuable. He's probably the most valuable piece on our offensive line right now.
I agree.
And I think over the course, if you watch where he came from, in terms of his progression every season, he's progressively gotten better every year.
He has
stood in the fire with some of the best from the best left ends in this game, and didn't lose.
And he's not even a natural O lineman. He's a converted defensive tackle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Athlete.
I like Jesse. I'm with you, ball game. You know me. I'm with you. I like Jesse Davis. I think this, again, is he, Quentin Nelson or, no, he's not in that category. But again, he's on an upward trajectory. He gets better every single year. You know what I mean? And the coaching staff, they love him. They love his skill set. They love his work ethic. They love his leadership. There's a lot to like about Jesse Davis. And I think, again,
yeah, he was once what I called serviceable. Now he's way higher than that. To me, he's actually even for me personally. I don't care how they rate him out. Really, what I've seen in his growth, he's upper mid tier lineman right now potentially for me in the NFL. I'd put him head and shoulders above a lot of guys that they actually have graded out better than him, just because I know that dude kind of work every single play.
I think we're gonna see improvement this year as well. We saw it last year, the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So I think we can, is he gonna be a Pro Bowl caliber player? But do we necessarily need 5 Pro Bowlers on O-line? Do you necessarily need 1 Pro Bowler on offensive line? No, you don't.
You just need those guys to believe in each other and work. They
play together. That's all you need.
Plus, Jesse Davis's versatility, allows you to unlock your best O-line combination in terms of if you can put him here and you can put him there, then you can put maybe more of your premier guys at their best positions because Jesse Davis can fill in wherever he wants to get in.
I think that left guard spot solidified. Nobody's gonna move.
No one's moving Flowers.
That's why the move with Dieter to center makes sense because nobody's moving Flowers out of that. We still have to see what Austin's going to look like at left tackle. The right tackle spot right now is probably going to be Jesse. And then they got to battle going on for the right guard spot. And Karras is going to hold on to the center until Dieter's ready to take over, which will probably be somewhere later down the line because Karras is only on a 1-year deal. So, you know, there's a fire hose thing right now for Dieter to get up to speed at center, but at the same time, they don't have to necessarily rush him in because you got Karras. And he can learn behind Karras.
And Karras is doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm excited about the pieces we brought in, though. That's the thing, though. I mean, there's a lot of mix and matching that they can do.
Yeah.
I just hate that we had been for so long subpar on the O-line that, you know what I mean, I caution myself to not get too overly excited because at the end of the day, you know, I know that in practice they're getting their hands, they're getting the best of the best of our group, but we won't be able to really truly evaluate how good of an O-line they are until they got to line up against somebody that don't give a shit about them.
I know these are our first 2 practices, and I know this, but how long has it been since we've seen the offense pretty much taking apart the defense?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
But and really, reason we talked about this earlier today, you know, we both realized it's just a second practice. But when have we heard the positivity about our draft picks, about, you know, our top draft picks? When have we heard that kind of positivity coming out, you know, from these beat writers and you know, these other media outlets?
Hating on us for a long time, though.
Man, but
people like what Flores is doing, though, bro. So
I agree.
Like it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to talk trash about him when you see how he's actually orchestrating things. The Yahoos we had before, man, that's like a bunch of fucking crazy people running around with their heads cut off. The organization was not nearly on the same level. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, you can assume
every piece of practice is scripted down to the very last scenario that they could possibly. Every scenario you can think of, he has it scripted in. That wasn't the case with Gase.
Oh yeah,
Gase worried about his offense, and that was it. That's it. That's all he cared about. He didn't.
That was it.
None of the primary stuff that the offense got to go out there and help service defense. It was always service the offense, service the defense, service the offense type of thing.
And it wasn't even the offense. It was the skill position because he didn't even care about the offensive line.
Well, that too. There you go. So you see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's just good to see a good, well-organized training camp.
Well, good to see a well-organized practice.
I mean, just the basics, just the basics of a well-organized.
That's what he was able to do more than anything. He was able to establish for them an understanding of what an actual NFL practice is supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Everything. You know what I'm saying? People moving from one drill to the next. No walking. Everybody running. You know, get there. Let's get it done because we don't got this much time. Right? No wasted reps. That in itself, that whole process feeds into you play the way you practice.
Okay. All right.
You know, it's the little things.
Reason brought up something earlier, and I like hearing it. But we have that undrafted rookie making waves on the splitting and getting into the backfield right now at practice.
Benito Jones?
Yes, Benito.
Oh, yeah.
You know how key that could be to our defense?
Absolutely.
You could put Davis on the end, and then on passing plays, you don't have to take Benito out. You can keep him in there and you could bring up a linebacker and go to a 4-3 or stay in your 3-4, depending on what you want to do. You can just change up on the offense on the fly.
Yeah, I love Benito Jones, man. I've been following him ever since he's been at Ole Miss. But you know, again, it's day 2. We need to pump the race just a little bit. It's day 2, but it's good to hear these players are flashing. You know what I mean? As opposed to the Charles Harrises of the world. You know what I mean? You don't hear anything about them. There's nothing positive about them. But these guys are actually flashing and showing you why they made these investments in these players in terms of the draft. So
and undrafted.
Yeah, and undrafted guys. Yeah.
And let's be honest, the better Benito performs and the better Benito looks, the easier it's going to be to let Devon Gotcha
walk.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And it's funny how you're hearing all these all this praise about these other players. I haven't heard Godchaw's name called once. And it might not mean anything. It might not mean anything. It might not. It might or might not. But I haven't heard his name.
Well,
not once.
I think it's like I said
Julian
before,
Davenport beat him in a one-on-one today.
Yeah, I think it's like I've said. You know what you're going to get from Godchild. You can set your clock to what to what Godchild is going to give you. So he's coming up in a situation where he's looking for a new contract. If a guy like Benito Jones can impress, and we already have an inkling about what Rayquan Davis is going to bring to the table. I mean, you could basically see the writing on the wall for Godchild's future on the roster. And nothing against him. It's just we have younger, cheaper talent more than willing to take his place.
And I mean, look at it this way: if Benito can translate into what me and EM saw from his college tape, you could legitimately have a third down nose, and then your front three is just Wilkins, him, and Rayquan. Because Rayquan, stellar in the run, he's shown he can be effective in the pass game in his freshman season, and then they switched up the whole defense on him. But that could be a future front three realistically, because I don't see Devon getting extended at all.
I mean, reason. Where was he playing that freshman year when he was flashing?
Nose.
Was he playing nose? I thought they switched him there
He's
afterwards.
playing nose and end. He's playing nose and end.
Nose and end.
Yeah, and then basically
he was a pass rusher on that end.
He was playing both.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Saban I think obviously when you look at Rayquan Davis, obviously especially at the college level, you put him at the nose, but Nick Saban might have done us the only favor. This may be the only favor Nick Saban's ever done us.
That's the thing. By
not having him as a pass rush threat in their defense.
Yeah, after that first year, though, he more predominantly became a nose, whereas in that first year, he was really shifting along all that line, left end, right end, nose, and then he saw a lot more of his snaps up the middle last year.
Yeah, but he has definitely flashed the ability to be a consistent pass rushing threat from the nose position. Man, that's something we have not. I mean, I like Godchild, but Godchild's steady. But Davis brings a much more dynamic skill set to the table.
Yeah.
So does Benito Jones.
Well, I wouldn't say Benito Jones brings necessarily a dynamic skill set. I mean, you know exactly what he brings to the table, but he's shown so far that he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, but it is a pretty unique skill set in the sense of nose is just usually fill gaps, and he's consistently shown on tape. One of the things that stood out to me, and EM in the pre-draft processes I've talked about all the time, was even if he didn't hit this quarterback, he was still causing issues for that pocket, and he was still making, because usually noses just fill gaps and they're really more effective in the run game. But this guy, he's shown that he's actually a better pass rusher than he is in the run, which usually you don't see. And you look at his athletic profile, how he's built, he is built like a prototypical nose tackle too, which makes it even more intriguing, because he should be, you would think would be the other way around, where he's stout in the run and then he has his off days in the pass rush, but he's stout in the pass rush, and then he's got to continue to develop in the run. So it is unique in that sense, because usually guys like that just fill gaps.
Yeah, the last nose tackle that I saw that was good at both was Vince Wilfork.
Yeah,
he could get in the backfield and cause chaos, and you couldn't run up the middle on him.
Yeah, that's a fact. Especially in the Patriots days, the New England days, when he was down there in Houston, he was still wildly athletic for a man of his size.
Yeah, that was the one thing. The guy was an absolute.
From the Vince Wilfork, man, they don't make him like that no more. But hell, we can get close to it, bro. It'll be definitely.
Y'all remember his wife? Y'all remember his wife at all the games?
Oh yeah,
I remember he was the most entertaining person on Hard Knocks. I remember that much.
Oh yeah. And all his commercials, they'd make you laugh. He'd make you laugh.
That big old dude running around with them
overalls on.
Talk about all you talk about is barbecue and meat.
With a big old stalk of hay.
Yeah.
Just gnawing on a big old stalk of hay too. Man, it's a funny guy.
Craziest thing to me was, I don't know if y'all remember it.
From the U.
Remember when the Bucks and the Raiders were in the Super Bowl?
You mean the Super Bowl the Raiders low key threw? When they changed up their whole game plan. The
Rondé Barber ate Rich Gannon alive.
And what's his name? And their Pro Bowl center went down to Mexico and never came back.
Oh
yeah, he went AWOL.
What was the name of the defensive tackle who ended up becoming an analyst?
Booger McFarland. Booger.
That Booger.
Yeah, Booger McFarland.
No.
Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp. Yo, I'll never forget. Because you know how, like, before, like, I don't think they do it anymore, but back then they used to show some of these guys like pre-game routines and they highlighted on the Super Bowl. You guys, I wonder if anyone can find it.
That's the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl the Bucks won. That's when my godbrother Dexter Jackson won the MVP.
Yeah,
man. Do you remember? You might not remember this ball game, but I know you probably watched the game. Before, like the pre-game show, they showed Warren Sapp at a table in his pregame meal, and the guy had 4 steaks, like a bunch of chicken. The guy had like 12 entrees in front of him, and this is what he was eating the day before he went out to play in the Super Bowl, bro.
And they weren't worried about that because they knew what they were up against. The Raiders didn't even change their offense, bro.
Warren Sapp from the U, and Vince Wilfork is the one who replaced him at the U afterwards.
Yeah, man.
The U had a run.
Was him before Wilfork to me was like the elite of the elite. I guess obviously Nobik and Sue has got to be in there before he signed with us.
Well, I tell you, the U had one of the nastiest runs college football has ever seen. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 years. I'm talking about a decade.
Yeah.
A decade of just one of the nastiest runs I've ever seen.
Still some of the best. 30
hey, you know what Warren Sapp say? They asked if all the players get back together for a reunion. He goes, "Yeah, we do it every year. It's a Pro Bowl."
Yeah, basically. I mean, you look at the they had a running back room. They had 4 All Pros, and 1 running back room. They had Clinton Portis, McGahee, Frank Gore, and one more. I forget who the 4th one was, but man, it hurts my head when I think about how good that U team.
You got Ray Lewis, you got Michael Irvin, bro.
Oh my God, Andre Johnson, Devin Hester, Sean Taylor,
hey Reggie Wayne,
Jeremy Shockey, and Greg Olsen,
Oh, come on now!
Brian
what about
McKinney?
the other tight end who's in Chicago right now, who was good with the Saints?
Jimmy Graham?
Oh, Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's basically a wide receiver now, right?
Yeah.
I saw a photo of him recently, and I was like, that dude does not look like he's
Warren
blocking
Sapp from Little
anybody.
Popka, man. He graduated high school over there at Popka High, which is about 45 minutes from here.
Yeah, that's right.
Who was that?
He was a small
Warren
little
Sapp.
town.
Over there with the Blue Daughters.
It's interesting. It's interesting if
Jerome Brown wasn't there either.
It's interesting if you go to high school in Florida, like a lot of high schools, like my high school, like a lot of the dudes that came out went to Florida State, even though I went to high school in South Florida in Broward County. You
You want to get away, man.
A lot of pipelines. Yeah, I get it.
I want to get away. I mean, they used to always say a lot of the guys from Tallahassee used to go to the bottom.
I get it, and
so,
but also
they keep the talent. Most of the time, they try to keep the talent in the state, though. So it's either Florida State, or Miami, and the guys wind up knowing each other so well that's why the rivalry were always so great, because the same dude that playing at Florida State probably on the team with a guy that was playing at Miami, and cornerback, wide receiver, all that type of stuff.
Hey, this is the 3rd straight year a person from the U's going to the Hall of Fame. Edge is making it this year.
Yeah, but I mean.
Edgerrin James got voted in. He's into the Hall of Fame.
Well deserved, man.
Yeah,
that dude was a monster. He was a monster in the.
Edgerrin James was the fourth one. Yeah. Edgerrin James.
He helped Peyton Manning, man, in more ways than one, bro. Like, it was after Marshall Faulk. After they lost Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James stepped right in, and they didn't miss a beat, man.
That was
Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison.
Another you guys.
That was without a shadow of doubt one of the most Dallas Clark.
And Dwight Freeney. Dwight Freeney was on that team
offense
as
was
well.
unstoppable. They just couldn't. The defense just always let them down at the end, bro.
Hey, that being said, Dwight Freeney was a low
They didn't
key
invest
Hall
in
of
anything
Famer.
when they back in, man.
I think their problems, like, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they just, it's just, they ran into that New England machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end,
They would have had more. They would have won more, I think, if New England went,
And that's why I hope Houston's pick is a top 5, because if we can trade that pick for future, we can turn into that machine. Flores knows what he's doing.
Tony Dungy. Well, you know what? To some degree, the way they do things in terms of how they analytically look at the game, he's a lot like Dungy. In the relationship. And the relationship aspect, how he deal with the coaches, how he deal with the players too.
Personality-wise,
yeah. But he also still has that regimented side of him, which he learned from Bill, which is like we gonna prepare you for every situation possible. Like I hear players always talk about this, and I sat down with Willie McGinnis like 2 years ago at Long Beach Poly at a game. I flew back out there to go visit because one of the kids that Isaiah, my son, mentored, was graduating, and we was at a game, and Willie said, no, where he ever been did they practice situations as much as they did in New England. He said it was unreal. He said Bill had them so prepared for all types of situations that was going to be possible, that they could possibly see in a game, that when they actually got out there on the field, man, they would actually stand in the huddle, look at the formation, look over their shoulder and see what the offense was coming out in their sets where the tight end was lined up, and they knew what play they were finna run. They knew at least the top 5 plays. Everybody knew them just like that. They were that prepared.
That's called filming teams illegally. That's what
Yes, Jose.
Air Reed was from the U.
That's what that's called.
Yeah, I mean, that when I was talking about the U running back room, it was Edgerrin James, Clinton Portis, Willie McGahee, and Frank Gore.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, all at the same time. And you know what? At the time, these were all guys.
He got off up there in Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, McGahee injured himself in the championship game against Ohio State.
Buffalo, then he went to Baltimore.
Right.
Yeah.
Do y'all think the University of Miami will ever get back to that? Because I don't. This is where we part ways.
Here's why. Here's why they won't. Because back then, all these guys that they were getting were under the radar and on the national scene. Now you can't play that game anymore.
Right,
everyone knows what we got down here now.
Yeah, they won't be able to. They
not like that.
Stop piling the talent like that will never be able to happen again.
No.
Ed Reed came from Louisiana as a 1-star.
There it goes. And then you got, think about
Sean Taylor was 0 stars.
And you got Butch Davis, maybe questionable coaching skills, but great recruiter.
Great recruiter though.
Yeah.
But I like Bobby. I like Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden, amazing recruiter. Amazing
man to come into your house and convince your parents to let you come to Florida State.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't in charge of that defense that they had. That was Mickey Andrews. Yeah. And Jimbo Fisher was the offensive coordinator. You feel what I'm saying? When they was at that. So, but the head coach got to be able to go in there and sell the vision.
Yep. Got to close the deal.
I can see Miami going on a run, but I don't think any team will ever do what they did with all those first-round picks in so many years and Hall of Famers. And
I think that time in general is over for. It's over for. I'm not saying it's over for Florida, college football teams, but that level of dominance, that level of no one knows what we got. This is all pre-internet. Like you can't play that game anymore.
Oregon. You have Oregon coming down trying to steal players from South Florida.
You can't play that game anymore. Like, everyone knows everyone now.
Hey, here's the difference though. You got kids. Those back then, them boys wanted to stay home. They wanted to stay as close to home because they wanted to rep their state.
That's Michael Irvin said.
Kids nowadays, these kids are mercs, man. They're going wherever they can go.
Hey,
start right away. They don't want to sit behind nobody. They want to
they'll transfer every year. They'll transfer every year.
That transfer portal, man, they be out.
Yeah.
Did you see ball game? Did you see what they changed this year in Florida?
What's that?
That players can get paid for their likeness now in college.
Oh yeah,
that's all college football.
Florida's the first one to pass it. No one else has passed it, but Florida.
California passed it before Florida, but theirs doesn't kick until like
as soon as California did it, I knew the rest of them gonna follow. It don't even matter though. If Texas don't get involved, then it's gonna be an issue. Listen. I love Florida football. I had my share of Cali football, but in the same sense, Texas is where that football.
Yep.
That's it.
I must agree. I'm just
saying. I know a lot of players, man, and when you look at the turnover and who comes out of Texas and how often and how many.
Yeah,
that's all they do, bro.
They breed them. They breed in factories down here, bro.
Yes,
really.
Yes,
they breed in factories down here.
And there's a reason why California, Texas, and Florida are always head and shoulders above a lot of other country. It's warm.
Yeah,
year round.
You can play football year round.
You can play football outside year round in your shorts.
Yeah.
That's why New York and Chicago are known for basketball. It's inside.
Yeah. You might have 3 weeks out of the year where it's like,
but that's
38 to 40 degrees. 3 weeks.
You can even have kids in the park at Christmas time when it's cold out there playing football.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, wait, I had to ask.
They might not be able to same. But as soon as the thaw breaks, as soon as the frost breaks, man, they right back at it.
Yep.
I had to ask EM a question. How did the Spurs do today in the playoffs? Oh, wait, they're home. Sorry, my bad.
That's cute. That's real cute. That's real cute. Hey, shout out to the homie FM. I know he's listening. The Spurs will be back. I promise you. I love that young core they have. Sometimes, sometimes you got to take a step back and take 2 steps forward. So,
I saw Dame went off at the end of that Lakers game, eh?
Oh, Lakers lost it.
Man, are you?
Dame has been going off this whole week.
Yeah, but they Lakers lost obviously, but Dame was draining them from half.
He would kill them.
He's been unconscious this past week. He went for 61 earlier this. He's just been ever since Skip Bayless got a Dame. He has been on a war path.
Anthony Davis shot 5 for 29, bro.
Yeah. Overrated.
No.
Overrated. Overrated.
Anthony Davis is not overrated.
And they're trying to compare that man to Tim Duncan. Stop it. Come on, man.
Now we can back off that. We can back off that comparison, but he ain't overrated.
Somebody actually did that?
Yeah.
Come on now. Kevin Garnett wasn't even Tim Duncan.
You're talking about Tim Duncan is a top 10 player that ever played a game. The best at it.
The best ever.
But top 10.
Well, I don't know about best. I say the best. I say the best flex.
The best
stretch.
Big.
The best. He part of the best stretch. He part of the best stretch because he can play the 4 and the 5.
I think, but when you're talking about stretch, you're usually talking about range out to the 3-point line.
He had that.
No.
He just didn't shoot.
He could have, but he didn't. That was not a.
He was good from 18 feet.
He was consistently, but when you're talking about stretch, you're usually talking about out toward the 3-point line.
Right.
Like Tim could take his man out there and then back him down and all that stuff too. When he was young,
any argument from me.
And he got older, maybe not so much, but Duncan was a different dude. Even when he was at Wake Forest,
no doubt about it.
See, Duncan was a unique player because, at least in my opinion,
I call him Mr. Fundamental.
Duncan is like one of those rare players that he could control a game without scoring. You know what I mean? He was like, you had players like that, like Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman couldn't give you 25 like Duncan could every, night in, night out. And Duncan, and it's unfortunate, and I think as Duncan has retired, because he didn't have like an imposing personality, you didn't hear him. He's just a quiet dude. He just show up, goes to work, and goes home. People, as he's retired now, people are starting to forget on just how dominant Duncan was, especially in his prime.
Well, he's getting to his coaching career now.
Yeah.
He's right now. I mean, he's getting to his coaching career. I think when Pop hangs it up,
that Carl Malone was something special though.
They're gonna look at Tim Duncan's direction.
He wasn't no Dunk. He wasn't no Tim Duncan.
He's pretty close. He's pretty close. He's pretty close.
No.
He's pretty close.
Carl was special. I didn't say he was Duncan.
Carl could not dominate a game on a defensive end like Tim Duncan could. That's what separates Duncan. Duncan can give you 25 to 30 every single night and double digit
quadruple
rebounds.
Double.
But
threat.
he controlled the paint. I mean, he had this is the most. Well, two statistics that stand out when I look at Tim Duncan's career. Over his I think he played 17 years, 18 years. He had help. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not, he had Popovich as well, but they were winning at a 72% clip, which was at that time the best for an individual player, which is like the best in NBA history. And also, over the duration of his career, the San Antonio Spurs defense never finished out of the top 7 in 20 years.
Yeah,
their defense never finished. That's crazy.
They bought in though.
Did he pick up the Player of the Year at any point in his career? I know he picked up some all defensive teams, but did he ever
he was
Player of the Year
team too.
I'm not sure.
I think it was a monster down in that box though, bro. Like you had to come with it.
Yeah.
During his era,
during his prime,
during his era, it was him, Shaq, and Kobe in their era. And you can rate them. Yeah. I personally put Duncan above both of them because I think Duncan, and the reason why is Duncan never played with another top 5 player, for any stretch of his career. Never.
Right.
Shaq did twice. Shaq did twice, as well as Kobe did. So,
EM, back to football real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you. I was coming in with real high expectations for this argument. I still am. But watching the rookie Tua, the 11-on-11s, I think he only had 2 snaps in it yesterday, the first day, and then he had 7 for 7. That would make him 9 for 9. He hasn't put the ball on the ground yet.
And again, I know this might I know all due respect, ball game, but man, this is day 2, and
you all due respect me. I'm agreeing with you.
No, because I know you got a relationship with Josh and everything. I'm just saying, it's good to see on a positive note in terms of if Rosen if he's really showing development. That's a positive. That's a positive for him, number 1, and 2, it benefits the team as well. Now, man, I don't know who got it. I'm getting all kind of feedback. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is that me?
We can hear you.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, we just need to pump. People are already anointing Josh Rosen as the starter week 1. They're saying he's the leading. I think that was you, Havoc, talking about that foolishness early in the comment section, saying that he's the number 1 quarterback after 2 practices. Stop. Where did you hear that? Have you heard?
You know where I heard that. What are you talking about? Where did I hear that? What are you talking about? I didn't make that up.
But look, listen. If Rosen is actually developing and he's actually improving, kudos to him. Kudos to him.
Should be. I mean, come on.
But the fact, and he should, exactly. But to ridicule and try to tear Tua down after 2 practices, And the kid, and again, the ball hadn't even touched the ground yet with this kid.
Who's
hadn't
doing
even touched the ground yet.
Somebody's doing that?
Oh yeah, you know who the biggest one is.
I don't recall
I'm not
that.
naming any names.
I was on that screen today. I don't recall that. I think
I saw the last 15 minutes. I saw a whole monologue.
I was gone by that.
Okay, maybe you didn't see it then. I saw it, and my jaw was like, you know, like after day 2 of practice, I was like,
if y'all know anything about me, you know without a shadow of a doubt that I always, at this point now, I want the highest level of competition at every position.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's something that we've never had at the quarterback position.
It's just too soon.
Listen, way back to even when Dan was here, nobody challenged it. Nobody questioned it. They anointed him.
And they shouldn't. You listen.
Shouldn't? Why not?
Listen, no. If you have a quarterback of Dan Marino's stature, no. You don't bring in competition for an all-time great. Now
he wasn't an all-time great when that was happening. EM. I'm talking about 87, 88, 89, bro. Like,
I mean, he came out.
He had the greatest season ever by that point.
Bro, he was still a perennial Pro Bowl. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but what do we win?
Hey, listen, no, it wasn't his fault we didn't win.
How you feel?
He actually
had a running back.
Hold on. He only ever had one 1,000-yard rusher, and he only ever played on a team with 3. He only ever had 3 top 10 defenses his whole career.
Man, no, God rest his soul.
And I bet you those came at the end of his career.
No disrespect, and that's why I previously I had been critical of Don Shula. You know, I might not hold him in the regard that a lot of our fan base does. Because of that, you had a talent like that, and you didn't get Dan Marino enough support around him.
We've all heard what Bill Walsh said. Bill Walsh said he could have won more Super Bowls with Dan Marino.
Oh, absolutely, with Joe Montana. No, it is. Listen. I'm not critical. Listen, God rest his soul. I love, I hold Don Shula in high regard, but I just don't hold him in the category with a Bill Walsh or a obviously Bill Belichick. Or I think he's just a notch below them because
I don't. Don Shula's on that level. Don Shula's absolutely on that level. You're talking about the only perfect season ever.
Was great as Marino was, what do we get?
Well, listen. That it wasn't Marino's fault. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, because let's be honest,
it was not his fault.
Let's be honest, man.
The defense has their ears pinned back. They know they're coming to get him. All you gotta do is hand off the draw. He decides to drop back, and throw the ball and it's get picked. I saw that countless times, bro. Like at some point you gotta believe in your teammates too. Like there's a difference between taking it all on your shoulders and putting people in position to help you win. I saw that a lot, bro.
I'll say this too.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I want to make sure
we would have went to the Super Bowl in '92 if we didn't meet a team that I'll give this. That Bills team, they were built for the playoffs. We weren't built for the playoffs. And that does, Don Shula himself has admitted he didn't do enough around Marino.
He didn't.
He said it himself, right?
He did not. You have a talent like that, and I consider in terms of pure pocket passer, I've never seen, maybe with the exception of Aaron Rodgers, I've never seen a quarterback pass, I've never seen an arm like Marino's, maybe with the exception of Aaron Rodgers. So when you have a talent like that, you have to do everything, exhaust every resource to get him the support he needs to take the team to another level. And, unfortunately, the front office, in addition to Don Shula, they just didn't support him enough, period.
Yeah.
That's just fact.
It's unfortunate. We had Pro Bowl offensive line, as well. But, at a certain point, I don't blame Marino too much for not really handing it off to the Terry Kirby's and the Bernie Parmaleys of the world.
Hey, I know, right?
Lorenzo Hampton.
I'm just saying.
They can get 2 yards.
Sammy
I'm just saying.
Smith.
Really? Are you sure they can get 2 yards? Are you sure, ball game?
I'm just saying. I understand why Marino, thinks he's a better
running backs.
You know what? The ultimate respect that they give that you hear the Hall of Fame players give Marino when they say, because the great one, the greats of the greats are, that people consider, they always have to have a Super Bowl ring on, on their finger. But they all give Marino, they said Dan Marino is the only one that gets a pass. The fact that he never won. Because number one, we understand how great he was, and then two, I think, they understood that, they didn't get enough support around him. So that's the ultimate compliment you can give a player of that, of that stature, the ultimate. So at the end of the day, man, look, I love Don Shula, what he brought. His contribution to the game of football in general, but he just didn't support Dan Marino.
Let's be honest, in that perfect season, he also had the luxury of how many other teams can you name that had 2 1,000-yard rushers on teams? Donka and Mercury Morris.
That's what killed me.
Yep.
He was so good as a coach with the running game.
Why you go away from
How
that?
could he not bring one to Miami to help Marino?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you can very well make the argument that he was playing to his strengths, right? I mean, you got Clayton, you got Duper, you had Irving Fryer, OJ McDuff. I mean, but at a certain point, it was just it wasn't necessarily our best showing in terms of defensively during Marino's career. Did we have a top 5 defense at any point during Marino's career? Did we have a top 5 defense?
No, not to my knowledge.
And you know what? And it's not even just that. You need to have a lot. If you're going to run an offense the way Shula let Marino run that offense, you better have a deep defense. People that can come up and give guys a breather, because you're on the field a lot when he scores quick.
And also look at the teams that we faced. In our division, the Buffalo Bills. Look how balanced that team was.
We had the Bills in our division.
How many Hall of Famers were on that team that went to 4 straight Super Bowls?
Exactly. Look at how balanced that team was.
Yeah.
I mean, running game on all levels. I mean, and you're sitting there and it's staring you in the face. I agree 100% with Todd. That's what Don Shula made his bones on, was the running game. And I don't understand why he just never could support Dan. I call him Mr. Marino enough. You know what I mean? Because I think we had a good enough core players. We just needed,
hold on. He ran a running game and defense to the undefeated season. He had no playing defense, and he couldn't do either one.
I just don't get it. I don't understand.
But I think you also have to understand the media would have roasted Don Shula if he was out here handing the ball off, 25 times a game with Dan Marino as quarterback.
You know you're gonna pass the ball 75-80% of the game too.
Yeah. But look, I mean, we're telegraphing it. I mean that. But look,
at the end of the day, people don't care whether you roasted me in the media or not. The only thing they care about is winning. Nobody give a damn what these beat writers and what these.
But we won games, but we didn't win any. We didn't win anything past that. Yeah, we won some games, but we didn't win much after that.
I agree with what you said about they might roast them with the running game. That doesn't mean Don Shula couldn't have built a defense around him.
And you know what? Don Shula has a credibility. He could have said, you know what? I'm balancing out this offense. I don't care what y'all say. I got the perfect season. Y'all don't.
Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson tried to do that, and basically him and Marino went head to head basically because of that too. Right?
Well, Marino wasn't the player that he was in the 80s.
He couldn't move anymore. No. And let's just be honest. That game against Jacksonville in the playoffs was one of the most disturbing displays of football.
One of my worst sports memories ever.
Listen, I still have nightmares about that football game, bro.
That's where we got our next starting quarterback from.
What football What football game y'all talk about? I wiped that crap from my memory, man.
I know, right?
That was painful, man. Mark, you knew it's over when Mark Brunell's out here outproducing Dan Marino.
I saw the score was 65-7. I was just like, how did that happen?
Ziegler came in the game and outdid Dan Marino.
Hey, that was the only game that I ever seen one man on the offensive line destroying everything we threw at him. Tony Baselli was out there like a man possessed.
Mm-hmm. Man, we couldn't do anything with it.
Us. Single-handedly wrecked us, man.
Now, can you imagine Marino in his prime with Jimmy Johnson's defense that he had here?
Oh, man.
That's different. We're talking different then.
I mean, different eras, too. Different eras.
What's going on, Logan? Welcome.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I was letting y'all speak, man. I wanted to talk about this 2020, 2021 defense that we got. I keep hearing that our base defense is going to be a 3-4. But on paper, looking at the roster, I see a 4-3 defense all day, base defense. I do see that we could spell out some defensive ends with Van Ginkel, and I wanted to call in yesterday, but that was before Beagle went down. But with two defensive ends that we're trying to convert to linebackers, because I watched a lot of film, not highlights, but film of Emmanuel Ogbah and Shaq Lawson. They made impacts when their hands in the dirt and not rushing off the edge. We tried the same thing with Cameron Wake. He was a 4-3. We tried to put him in a 3-4 outside linebacker. It just didn't work. And I feel like that we're doing a disservice to our players and putting them in bad position if we run a 3-4 as opposed to a 4-3 as a base defense. What are y'all thoughts?
Well, I mean, we know our defense is flexible. We're going to be throwing multiple formations. Yeah, it's going to be multiple formations you're going to see. Although, I from my understanding, Brian Flores is, the base of our defense is a 3-4, and the players that we brought in were brought in to fit into that scheme. Mm-hmm. But we do have the flexibility to do multiple things. We're not just stuck doing that as our formation.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm thinking we do kickoff first down. It's first and on defense. We come out in 3-4.
3-4 solid.
3-4 solid. And who is the personnel? Who's the down lineman and who's standing up?
Well, me personally, and I think this ultimately will be the approach in terms of our base. I think in the middle, I think our edge players will be Emmanuel Ogbah and Shaq Lawson on the edge. Okay. I think Christian Wilkins will be one. 3 technique. I think Rayquan Davis will be the other starter at the other 3 technique spot. And I think Devon Godchar will be deployed in the middle initially. And I think our 2 interior linebackers, I think this will be ideal. This will solve all our run deficiencies if they deploy this personnel grouping. Kyle Van Noy, and now that Vince Beagle is out of the picture, Raekwon McMillan on the interior. And I think if they opt to deploy that personnel grouping, I think our run issues that we had last year, 90% of them will be resolved if they choose to go that route. So I don't know why you say, like you said, when you look at the roster, the personnel, why do you think, based off the personnel we have, why would you think that they're better suited to be deployed in a 4-3 format as opposed to 3-4?
I'm looking at height, weight. I'm looking at scheme fit.
Well, if you're talking about height and weight, let me stop you there. Generally, 3-4 teams are much bigger than 4-3 teams. Okay, generally on your D line,
in the 2 interior defensive tackle spots, but the defensive ends are more wiry. You know what I'm saying? Guys that can get up and get around with a lot more agility and things of that nature. They're not necessarily.
We're missing the Jason Taylors. Our linebackers are the size of Jason Taylor right now.
No. Not at all. Jason Taylor was
like
255.
Yeah.
No.
We have
Ogba's
He was actually at 1.255 at defensive end when he came in.
Yeah, he played at 255, 260. But what I'm saying is we have defensive ends that we're converting to linebackers.
But they're only but see the thing though.
And they're 275 and 280 pounds.
Yeah, but see, Shaq Lawson and Ogba are really adept at standing up and addressing the run,
setting the edge,
the run game. So for that reason, and for that reason primarily, they're better fits because they are thicker, bigger bodies that can withstand that initial punch at the edge and hold the ground. You feel what I'm saying? Now, what may change would be what we see on, you know what I'm saying, second and longs and third and long, right? And then you get into the exotics, and then you might see more, more possibly four-man fronts, or even just 2-4-5 look, where you got 2 down linemen and 4 linebackers standing up, because there's still a run element that you got to worry about of a draw and things of that nature. But our base, because of the size of the guys, the 3-4 is a better fit for us because we can do more with the guys that we have because of their flexibility to be able to work in space as well.
And if you research 3-4 teams, when you research 3-4 teams, if you, like you just mentioned, the size, generally 3-4 teams are bigger, especially in New England, are bigger than 4-3 teams, because you got 3 guys on your D line that are 300 pounds plus. Okay, your stand-up guys are 265 to 275. 265 to 275. Your interior linebackers are between 245 and 250. All right. So if you research the history of a 3-4 defense in teams like Pittsburgh, Baltimore,
versus
New England,
4-3,
versus generally 3-4 teams are bigger teams, are larger teams, and that's why you saw the priority in terms of the draft and the offseason and the free agency. Why the investment was made in bigger, stronger players, because they wanted to transition, I think, probably 80% of the time in terms of deploying our base. They wanted to transition to about 85% of the 3-4, I think.
Let me ask you this, ball game. So as far as the front seven, who are the best front seven we have? Linebackers, outside rushers, linebackers. What's the?
Well, right, you talking about just based on who's on the roster?
No. I don't want you to think about 3-4, 4-3. We want to put our best 7 on the field, whether defensive lineman.
Well, then,
who's our best?
I just told you what I just told you what my best.
He just gave them to you.
I told you what I think the best.
Yeah. So you took
with the exception out.
I think it might be situational. To be honest.
Oh yeah, but
Baker will be on the field for me.
Hey, listen, and the fact that Vince Beagle is going for the year, that might help Baker in terms of him sticking on the roster.
Yeah.
So,
Baker my top 7.
But me, no, I'm not.
If I don't like him, I love him.
No, I don't like him I don't like him on the interior in the 34. Okay. Now, if I'm gonna deploy Jerome Baker,
weak side linebacker.
You're weak side linebacker for me.
But I'm deploying him in sub-package type situations. Yeah. Nothing more than that.
Yeah. You would maybe give him another chance at a pass coverage, because he's still the fastest linebacker that we have outside of Gruger Hill.
Well, I would even deploy him like even in when we're in nickel and we're in an obvious passing type situation. If I'm gonna blitz and I'm gonna bring pressure, I would deploy him like as the 5th or 6th guy extra guy that I'm bringing, because he's quick, he's fast, he can outmaneuver linebackers offensive linemen in confined spaces. You know what I mean? He can do that. He has value there, but
he gets stood up a lot when he goes up against the O-line, though.
He do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what
110 pounds.
Yeah. He's basically has the weight of a strong safety.
That is true.
He's not built. He's not built for a tackle or a guard to get to the second level.
Tight end, he'll be all right.
He's 10 pounds off from being a strong safety.
But
he
ain't even all right covering tight ends.
No, I ain't torched him last year.
Blitzing against him.
No, he's talking about blitzing against him.
Fighting to get to the quarterback.
Okay. But hopefully Jerome Baker can improve. Hopefully we're sitting here come 2-3 games into the season. I'm like, damn, I will issue an apology to Jerome Baker all day.
I'll be waiting on it. I'll be waiting on it.
Hey, listen. 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 My priority is this right here. And whoever is going to help us get back to winning our winning ways, I don't give a damn who, what color, what size, whatever.
I'm glad you're saying
I've been saying that from day one.
So he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, okay. Well, now that Vince Beagle is hurt,
he's definitely not going anywhere.
I hate that Beagle got hurt, but I don't think Jerome was leaving anyway, bro.
Well, no. Well, listen.
You're still gonna have to fight off Van Ginkel, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
I'm winning regardless, bro.
Hey, listen.
Can I fuck with both of them?
Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
They both my guys, so.
A player that we hadn't been talking about, that nobody's really talking about, who apparently hasn't been impressive as well. And again, I know it's the second practice, but Landon Roberts apparently has been turning some heads.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about.
We always need depth.
Well, good for him. When we do need depth. I mean, especially you're talking about a COVID season, you need depth. Good for him. I
want to see them all do well.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what type of weight Baker's coming in at.
I think the underrated name to look out for is
Gruger Hill. Baker?
Yeah, I want to know what type of weight he's coming in at this year.
Gruger Hill.
Yeah, Gruger Hill as well. I love his skill set as well. But I'm just saying.
And he's a Flores guy. Flores drafted him too.
This is true. I'm just saying the guys that have been impressed in the last 2 days is what I'm saying.
Right.
So,
I just think.
Hey, guys, I've got to get some sleep. I got to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Peace and love.
Y'all have a good one. Great show, guys.
You too, homie.
All right.
You too.
What you saying?
To me, Christian Wilkins. I'm gonna talk about Christian Wilkins for a second.
You better talk nice.
Hey, hold on. I think Christian Wilkins, he exerts so much energy when the offense is on the field, and when he gets on the field on defense, he exhausted. Do y'all see?
He's only on the field on offense.
No. Let me finish. When we moving first downs, he jumping all over the play, touchdowns, all over. He running down, and then when we punt, we kick off, we playing defense. He just jumping up in the air trying to pass. He need to calm down. He a rookie.
You want players like that.
Yeah, you want that.
You want players like that.
He's putting more offense. He's putting more energy on the offense sideline than he is when it really matters.
That'll get calmed down this year. That's
the first year.
That's just the love for the game coming out.
Man. He'll learn.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's the love of the game coming out. He's a rookie. You see him at the draft when he damn near body slammed the commissioner.
But I really don't.
He got a lot of love for the game.
I really don't think that's a problem, though. I don't think that's an issue.
It is a problem. I think.
I don't recall one game where him doing and celebrating and cheering on the offense affected him defensively.
I agree.
I agree.
He was commanding double teams, huh?
When I see him on the ball height,
he commanded double teams.
He's just pushing. He's just pushing the D line, the O line, pushing the O line, jumping up in the air.
That's what you're supposed to do if you can't get through.
Yeah.
They teach them to get their hands up.
But he wasn't trying to get through.
He was trying.
But when you double, how many players that can consistently get through a double team?
Not all the time. I'm from Virginia. The game, Miami Dolphin games don't come on TV, but I watch every single Dolphin game. And I watch the D line. I don't watch the
I see a lot of passing off. Engaging, trying to get through, and then another guy pick him up. You know what I mean? But at some point, you're not gonna get there. You realize you're not gonna get there. So they teach him, get your hands up, get into the throwing lane, get your hands up. Right.
And really, to be fair, last year on our defensive line, in terms of the offense scheming against a player, he was the only player that really offensive schemed against.
Yep.
So he was consistently getting double teamed consistently.
Yeah, he was.
Because they didn't fear anybody else.
Also,
that's all changed now, though.
He hating on Christian Wilkins. I be like, dude, do you understand how much this dude?
I'm not hating.
Yeah.
Ball game. I ain't hating on him.
Not you, bro. Not you.
He just if he calm down and slow down when on offense, I think he can put more effort. Because in Miami Sunday at 1:00, you running from the 50-yard line down to the 1-yard line to celebrate a touchdown. You got to go back out there in 2 plays, brother.
I hear what you're saying, but you know, I think that's
I
like he's passionate, bro.
Yeah,
I like that.
I just think he's a
never
rookie.
gonna ask him not to do that.
I mean, and he got to keep that same energy on first down though when we on defense.
Listen,
I don't think it's a problem.
If no, EM and I are probably, without a shadow of a doubt, the most critical on Sundays about what these guys do out there. And I'm telling you firsthand, if there was ever a lack of fire or a lack of energy from me, I'll be the first one to point it out, bro. I don't cut no crap. I didn't see that. I saw a rookie out there commanding and teams sending 2-3 people at him and him doing his best to make an impact.
Yeah.
Now whether that graded out according to these other people as top or not, well, they don't. A lot of times they don't see what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a kid that's out there with an endless motor, never giving up.
And less enthusiasm.
Especially from an interior guy.
I want as many of them kind of players as that I can get on my roster.
Yeah, if they all out there with pom-pom cheering on the offensive line, that'd be the best thing for me, bro. I'm good with that.
No, he don't need to tone that down. No, I love everything about
not at all. You want that, bro. You gotta just when you got a guy like that, and a guy that we just brought another one in exactly like that. I guarantee Rayquan gonna be the same way, bro.
It's infectious too for the team.
Kids love this game, and you want to keep cultivating that type of love for this game. They'll translate that to huge, big plays for you on Sunday. Ain't nobody else matching that. And when you're in that zone, listen, when you're out there on that field and you're in that zone where no matter how much you run from sideline to sideline, you still got more. The guy on the other side over there is thinking to himself, how the hell am I supposed to stop this fool?
Oh, yeah.
Where's he getting all this energy from?
Definitely.
Coach, we can't block this fool. Coach, we throwing everything at him, and we can't do shit with him. I want 11 like that. That's when it's fun to coach, because all you got to do then is release the hound.
And you know what? And you know what? That's why Brian Flores loves Christian Wilkins.
Let him eat.
That's why.
That's just infectious, bro.
That's why. If you recall last year, when he was critical publicly of Christian Wilkins, what did he say? He said, "Look, I love Christian Wilkins. He's just inconsistent in certain aspects of his game, but he's going to be a huge part in the future of what we're doing on our defense."
Yeah.
And think about the season we had last season and the amount of enthusiasm he was able to show. I mean, I think that's incredible.
Exactly.
It's infectious, man. That type of energy is infectious, bro.
You want as many of them players you can get.
I'm saying, Coach Flores don't like the few players like Baker and Kalen Ballage, which he started over Kenyon Drake. Now look at Kenyon Drake in Arizona. So I'm just saying,
different scheme, man.
Just because you love him,
well,
you can love him for too long. Because me and you on the same part. Baker, he gets the stats, but he doesn't feel his assignments. He's doing a Kiko thing. Yeah, you can get a lot of tackles, fumbles, knockdowns, interceptions, and picks. But if you're not your area, if you're doing whatever,
there's no. Baker is not. See, people. This is another reason why I think people they want to continue. They want the Dolphins to continue an investment in Jerome Baker. Is his tackles total? And I agree with that. But the plays that Jerome Baker makes, they're like irrelevant. They're not impactful.
Exactly.
He offers no value in terms of impact plays to your defense.
Right.
So I agree with you 100%. But
Kalen Ballage the same way.
I would say
Flores loves that guy.
I would say, to be fair, just to be fair, if we're actually looking to evaluate any of these guys going forward now that we've got that first year out of the way, this is the season to effectively say keep or discard.
I agree.
And that's legitimate. And that's legit.
They have had a full season of expectation and understanding what it is Flores wants from them. Now, if Jerome Baker goes out there and lays an egg, then you ain't got to even worry about it. I would be the first one to say, get them the hell up out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But evaluating them off of what going on last year with all that stuff that Graham had going on, and then them having to tone it back, and then Flores implementing different things and taking over the defense a little bit at the end too. This year, now you can do your evaluations and say, you know what? Show me what you got. Otherwise,
well,
all right,
well,
you can use last year as a gauge, but this year's gonna matter more.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Reason.
We're gonna end this, bro, because we're at the 3 hour and 3 mark. It's 1:30. I was live already tonight on my other show for about an hour, so I'm over 4 hours tonight. I'm wasted. I'm good. That's why I've been silent for the last little bit. I'm good, man. I'm cooked. So we'll go through you guys and we'll get some final thoughts, and we'll start with you, EM.
Hey, appreciate everybody coming out again, showing love, and all the panelists and everybody in the comments as always. It's greatly appreciated. And man, day 3 is tomorrow. So listen. Let's just pump the brakes. Let's just let this whole situation play out. Okay. Here in a couple of weeks, we'll get a better idea. We'll get a better assessment on who's number ones, who's playing with the 2s, and who's playing with the 3s. And so let's just pump the brakes a little bit and let it play out. And, all day, every day, y'all know what it is.
Havoc?
I mean, y'all know what it is, man. It's Fins up every day, all day. I just want to say, just be sure to understand the context that we're in the middle of training camp, and we should not necessarily be looking to make, conclusions or jumps about who should be here and who should be there. We just don't have enough information. We don't have enough information to make responsible, estimations of who's doing what, who's starting where. So just be mindful and take it all with a grain of salt. Take everything with a grain of salt until the last week of training camp, because you're going to get left off. You're going to be let off a cliff. You don't want that. Just take it. Enjoy the process. We have depth. We got young, talented players. Enjoy the process. Don't get caught up in the position battles in the first week of training camp.
And stop listening to them fools. And stop listening to them fools that's making these declarations after 2 days. Come on, man. Anyway,
Logan,
go ahead.
Logan, we enjoyed having you on for your first time. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Thank you for having me on the show. I love the show with all this thing going on in the world. Just going to work and coming home. I'm glad that you have your show. It's a lot of I'm gonna say it's some content creators. It's like a cartoon. It's a lot of animation, not a lot of facts. I'm glad that you have a show that you put out facts, film, and allow us to come on and talk, speak our mind. I appreciate you, man. Peace and love.
Yeah. And I appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger either, Logan, because just like Daniel Ashford, you were on the different side of, a few of these issues, but you kept it cool, calm, collected, open ears, spoke your piece, you're respectful. So, man, you're welcome back anytime, bro. I'd like to see that stuff.
Absolutely.
None of this yelling over all this garbage. So I love it, brother. Mr. Ballgame, what's good, bro? Continue educating the people with your final thoughts.
Oh man, just support the team, bro. Be happy, be grateful, and be excited for the future. I think it's too early for anything other than just positivity and send your prayers out to Vince Beagle, man. It sucks what happened to him.
Yeah, I agree. Man, that was tough.
But aside from that, man, I just want competition at every position because, it's what's going to make us better as a team. I don't care who out there. As long as, whoever's out there, they're the best 11 according to the coaching staff. And I have supreme confidence that they're going to put the best people out there to succeed. And that's all I can ask for, I just want to see a team that's willing to compete and not quit and leave everything on the field. And as long as they give me that, I'm good, man, because training camp don't change nothing for me. Training camp, exactly what it is. It's training for the real war ahead. So,
yeah, agreed.
Thanks
for coming on, Ballgame. Always love having you on. The coach. So, yeah, guys, I'm just going to do a few things. If you haven't already and you're in the comments, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. We're already almost at 1,100, so we're moving pretty quickly, guys. I can sit here and say we're probably one of the fastest growing Dolphins channels on YouTube right now, and we have no one to thank but all of you out here and everyone who contributes, like Havoc, Ballgame, and Logan right now. If you'd like to donate, obviously paypal.me/Phinside. If you want to become a patron, there's patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. And as usual, I want to shout out our patrons, Infinite Trauma and Rhino Sith, the original OGs, Fake Spike 94, Joe B, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two Bits, and of course Shake Money. We appreciate all y'all for opening your wallets with the Patreon guys. And make sure you use those benefits. Not enough of you are. And again, if you guys are interested in a free league or a 12-man league that will be running for this channel, email me. I just opened the email. I already saw I got a bunch of emails from you guys. So email us at PhinsideTheNFL@gmail.com, and I'll get those leagues set up for you guys. I've already started collecting the list, and I'll check all those emails that you guys sent during the broadcast. Appreciate all you guys for wanting to be involved. Other than that, man, we were consistently at around almost 90 viewers tonight, even though we went super late. So we appreciate all of you spending these late hours of your, Tuesday going into Wednesday when a lot of you got to get up the next morning. If you want to know what I think about the whole expectations, I started off the show with my soliloquy and laid it out for you, and I'll just say this again. Guys, don't start putting stock into things until A, you either see 11-on-11 drills, or B, we're in the final week and things start to play out and you can put the pieces together by yourself. But until then, just enjoy the ride of training camp, because everyone is going to have up and down days, and Kalen Balazs is a perfect example of having a terrible day one, but he had a decent day two. So that's just how it works. There's rust to be worked off. There's installs for these guys to start grasping on both sides of the ball. Terminology some of these new kids are picking up. So,
Thursday.
Go ahead.
Thursday should be the first glance that we have of possible 11-on-11s, because generally most offensive coordinators want to see the results of their first 3 installs, and that's first day 1, day 2, day 3. On day 4, they'll have a small at the end of practice 11-on-11 to see where they are in terms of terminology and understanding things of that nature. Probably about 10 to 12 plays for the first team, 10 of the first team, 8 nothing more than 30 plays generally. You know what I'm saying? And they'll move the chains and things of that nature and get down to the red zone, give them a crack at that, and then they'll start it over again at the 50 and then work. But probably Thursday. Probably get something like that Thursday, and then Friday will be another walkthrough, and then we'll see how he plays it from there. But that's generally the script, even in most regular situations for training camp. By day 4, you kind of get your first 11-on-11 action. So.
And guys, again, follow me on Twitter at @the_real_reason. I'll be live tweeting the Zoom sessions tomorrow of Isaiah Ford, Noah Benogany, and Manuel Ogba. So if you guys want updates before those Zoom sessions are uploaded by the Miami Dolphins, follow along with me. It'll be starting around 12 p.m. All right, guys? So we will be back tomorrow. I think this is probably going to turn into a daily occurrence, even if some of them are short videos, just to keep you guys educated, and obviously to counteract some of the ignorance that's already reared its ugly face on all social media platforms, not just one. If you guys,
my God,
Dolphins Twitter is just as bad, guys. Believe me, it's just as bad. Trust me on that one. So, everyone, we will see you guys tomorrow night. Until then, fins up all day, every day, guys.